Welcome, everybody. Come on in. We're just getting set up. I need to test my audio visual. I need you guys to let me know. Welcome, everybody. Yep, that's just me pulling myself up. Come on in. Come on in and get settled, man. I just need to get myself set up over here. We'll do the intro and everything, but I need to test my microphone. Can you hear me, people? Can you hear? Because I'm tired of having audio visuals to start. So, just shoot me a message. Can you hear me? Holler if you hear me. You hear me? Saida, Princess Saida in the building. Appreciate it. We'll get started in just a few minutes, folks. Just got to get a couple things set up. JP, appreciate you as well. Got Saida. And JP is the matriarch. Appreciate you. Yeah, so if you all can hear me, you ladies can hear me, I definitely appreciate it. I will start the intro shortly. We will get started on time, but I did want to make sure I could be heard before. Get my other stuff set up. So I appreciate you guys, you ladies, for being here on time. I am a little early. Of course. Yep. There we go. Yep. Cool. There we go. All right. Got myself up on so I can moderate my own channel. Cool. Everything looks like it is live. My Twitch says it's streaming Left 4 Dead. All right. I will get that fixed. Let me see. We got 4 minutes before we get started. I got just enough time to fix some of this stuff. My fault, people. My fault. Better now than never. It really does say streaming Left 4 Dead 2 on Twitch. Good Lord. It really does say streaming Left 4 Dead 2 on Twitch. Let's see. How to make conflict with Twitch's monitor. Twitch does not like the word Negro. All right. Got that fixed. Boom. All right. But we are up and running, folks. Up and running. All right, people. Thank you for being here a little early. I just wanted to get my audio tested out. People said they could hear me. So thank you for that. I am getting ready to start the intro. I'll be back with you in a few minutes. But for the early folks, for the on-time folks, I really appreciate you. I did have an intermission screen. I'm trying to develop some stuff. Like I said, I know I was going to do some stuff for the Twitch side. So Bear with me. This is something I created. A couple of you may see your names in here. So I mean, stick the first 15 seconds or so. It's no more than 30. So stick around for the next 30 seconds so that you can see your name if you are mentioned in my acknowledgments. So I'm going to start this intermission screen, and then I'll be back to start the show right after that. Appreciate you.
No warning. Just F it, right? I can't hear you. You muted. You muted.
I cannot stop having audio visual issues. So let everybody forget what you just saw for the last few seconds. Hold on, let's do this. Look, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Critically Drinking. And I really appreciate all of you for being here. But our first guest is already on the scene, so I definitely want to pull them up. You haven't seen them before today. You haven't seen them within the last 60 seconds, so get that out of your mind. This is brand new, fresh. We're gonna bring them up for the first time today. We have AR Stratusburg. How you doing, man?
I don't get no drum roll. No, nothing.
Okay,
Like
let's try it one more time. One more time. All right. gotta get my reps up. Gotta get my reps up. All right, people. I want to bring up my very first guest today. He is well known in these YouTube streets for his strong opinions, his passion, his intelligent and insightful points and questions, his panel of diverse and intelligent and beautiful women. This guy is bringing solutions for both him and for her. This is the guy known around the world as AR, but in these streets, we just call him family. This is AR Stratusburg. How are you doing today, man?
I don't know, man. You didn't say ghetto, niggerism, ratchet.
Okay, so
You didn't call me Uncle Ruckus. I don't know,
you
bro.
want the hood entrance. So you want the hood entrance? I mean, I can give you all that. But we done made
It's
people
all
wait,
good,
man.
man. Man, I
Yeah, man,
appreciate
thank
you
you for
having me on
being
here,
here,
man.
Definitely.
Am I
appreciate
echoing?
Not for me.
Okay,
What about
okay. No, I'm in
what
a
about out
different room.
there?
That's why I'm like, hold on. I
Let me
got the
see. Give
real
me a
brick
second.
behind me. See the brick? Man, you can't see that, right?
Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Definitely she's getting set up. JP's getting set up. And we do intend for JP to join us shortly. So definitely appreciate that. Can't post comments to some destinations. Okay, what is going on here? Actually, I'm trying to tell you, this multi-streaming thing, they are
Yeah,
getting on my nerves.
the multi streaming is definitely not something I recommend because each streaming platform has its own. Yeah, I just recommend YouTube, maybe in Twitch. Everything else, no, do it separately because they be, you know.
Well, this is a holdover from this weekend because we did a stream together. So I'm just going to use this until people show up.
Yeah, man.
Got our names and logos on here until everybody else shows up. Then we'll go with a different look, and different aesthetic.
Does StreamYard has mirror image or mirror mode or no?
No,
It doesn't.
they did not.
Okay.
They did not have that feature for whatever
Wow,
reason.
the other one,
I loved it.
Restream.
I love that. But they were trash to get into. They were trash. Connection was horrible.
Connection.
Man, and my connection was already bad, but it somehow made it worse. It's like,
yo, I was like this the whole time.
man. Yeah, bro, definitely. I want to just go through the opening spiel. Oh, JP says she prefers to use different platforms for different reasons. All of them have their goods and bads, kind of like people. Everybody has their good and bad except for AR, who's all bad. But he's here. Yeah.
Hey man, I take full credit for that. I'm hyped for that. That gets me pumped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There you go. You need some contention. Okay, that's what you need. I hear you. I feel you. Yeah. If you don't have, yes. See, JP should be thinking.
What you said? I can't see it.
Oh, my fault. I did that quick. I forgot you can't read as fast.
You don't have.
It's great for backing up.
Yeah. Also, what you have to do is turn down your camera quality. A lot of times we're in 1080p. Go down to 720. When you go down to 720, you get a lot better quality, actually. Because right now, with StreamYard and Restream, we're going off of Rashawn's internet connection.
That's
how it works. So when if you lower your camera quality, you're a lot more clear, and we have better connection as well.
Oh, because my network is trash. I'm sorry, folks. I've been doing this y'all this whole time. Man, so that's why everybody looks tragic and out of sync on mine, the audio visual. Oh, I gotta quit streaming, y'all. AR is all CAC. I don't know what CAC means, JP. You have to let me know what that means.
Calibrated, affiliated. I'm trying to think of something intelligent.
I was gonna say something ignorant. Since you wanted the ignorance, you're a catch-all coon.
I'm gonna go to Amazon and get my coon hat. That's what I'm gonna do, man. Get a raccoon right here. Get a coon hat.
Nah, man. But listen, real quick, man. Let me go through this spiel. Let me go through my little. Let me go through my little stuff, AR. Give me a second, man. Give me a second. No. But y'all want to welcome. I think I already did this. Matter of fact, I did welcome y'all to Critically Drinking. My fault. I'm Rashawn. If I didn't introduce myself, but the name is wrong. Right. I forgot the mirror image. The name is right here if you can't see it. Otherwise, I'm known as your friendly neighborhood bartender because I tend to deliver the best bars. Get it? Even that's a bar. First things first, though, you know we always got to do our setup before we open. So the person I asked to sing the intros, everybody. I did ask somebody to sing the intro, the song you heard playing for like the 2-minute timer. I did write lyrics for it, and they did agree to do it gratis or for free. So I'm going to get them the materials this week. So hopefully within the next 30 days or so, you will have a working intro song with lyrics, and that way you guys can sing along. You know, everybody likes a good sing along. Secondly, if you are not tapped into my Discord, which should be in the description, if I did things right, on YouTube, on Twitch, I'm not exactly sure that YouTube, I'm not exactly sure Twitch has a description where, but if you're on Twitch though, it's actually in the about section. So it's on the screen for you. So you can click my Discord, tap in. On YouTube though, it should be in the description. Get into the Discord. That way you know all the latest updates because I've been doing multiple streams throughout the week, not to YouTube, but to Twitch. I'm trying to get my Twitch game up. So check me out there. So you will find that information in my Discord specifically. Otherwise, if you just want the YouTube on Mondays, I'm here for it. And I wanted to let you know, AR, because I think you saw the clip. I'm out here doing the Lord's work, man. The Lord Jesus himself has blessed me, right? I posted a clip from one of the combos I did on Twitch to Facebook, to my Facebook profile. And my very devout Christian mother is going to actually return to using a lamb as imagery for Easter instead of the Easter bunny. So I'm out here getting rid of pagan rituals and people's Christian practices. So I am, I'm a blessed prophet of God now. I just want y'all to know.
Hey, man, Arshawn, listen, man, I think you're really cool and all that, but all right.
I just want y'all to know, man.
I'm trying to... the hell, bro. No, man, you don't believe in Jesus. You don't believe Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins, correct? So
listen, man.
You don't believe in that. So you're dying going to hell, bro.
Yeah. But see, I don't need to save myself, AR. I just need to
save one. What? Save one person.
And I'm satisfied with that. If I leave somebody else, to the right path. No. I'm not doing the saving. I'm saving them from themselves. And then the Lord is saving them the rest of the way. I'm like first mile, like the first mile in the distribution and logistics. I get you close. It's for Jesus to grab you up. You know what I'm saying? Like for the rapture, I lift you up to my shoulders and then Jesus lifts you up right to heaven.
He's gonna throw you down. But listen, to all the people that still listen, man. Listen.
Why can't life just be easy?
Can I say that real quick or no? About the stealing?
Go ahead, you gotta say about
listen.
Yeah,
to all the people that's stealing content from Arshawn, right? It's all good. We all do that. But listen, if you're a bigger content creator, or if you're on another panel, the small content, like I'll be copying off of knowledge relationships, I'll be copying Arshawn, it's fine. But now, if you're a bigger YouTuber, right? If you're a bigger YouTuber, you have bigger platforms and panels, and you're stealing some of the flows and so forth. It's all good, but just shout out our channel so that we can get the credit. Now, if you don't shout out the channel, and I see that you're still stealing, man, you probably haven't heard me be ratchet before, but I have some really good commentary. But y'all need to be pointed out because y'all bigger platform. Y'all can shout us out, and we could get like at least 500 new subscribers just by you saying, "Listen, I got this from such and such." So leave it like that.
I appreciate that. I don't mind. Like I said myself, AR is not on the same type of time I am. I want my ideas out there. Like, I don't want to be the face of them. So if you have an idea of mine that you like, take it. Only thing I ask in return, it's not even money. just let me know that you took it so I can see how you employ it. That way I can learn something. I can grow from how you like that with women in fashion. Who wore the dress better? Who wore the idea better? Let me see how you took the idea and how you did it. Because I actually like the person that took it. I actually like what they did with it. I thought it was kind of neat.
Nah, fuck that. Give him his credit. No, fuck all that. No, fuck all that shit. Listen, I'm gonna stop cursing, but give him his credit. You can do all that all you want, but also give him his fucking credit, bro. Like, damn, it doesn't take much to give him his fucking credit. You stole some. All right.
But see, it's free. We're giving it away for free on YouTube.
No. It's free for YouTube, but you stole the flow, though. Listen, you stole something that's very comical and shit like that, which is cool. But just give credit. That's all we. Just give credit, or just you don't have to give credit. Shout them out so they can get some subscribers, bro.
Real quick, man. I give that man his credit. He's swinging. We have our guest, and I stole that bell, like credit. I stole the doorbell idea from Knowledge and Relationships, Mr. Best. Shout out, Mr. Best. But we're gonna bring up another guest as soon as he gets settled in just a second. We got one of the founders of the brand, man. One of the people that you can't have a conversation about Black without this person right here, because man, we've had every conversation in the world about Black with this man right here. This is Mr. Rico Young.
It sounds like a bastard coming on here.
You forgot to put Black in front of it.
Rico, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Just sitting out in my backyard enjoying some of this wonderful weather we're getting here.
Are you happy to be breathing the white man's air?
Am I happy to be what?
Breathing the white man's air in this glorious country. You smell the goodness.
Lord.
Blessings abound. All
right, I'm not gonna stop. But listen, man, Rico, you've been MIA for a while, man. I'm glad you're doing okay, though. You know?
No, I'm doing wonderful. Actually, believe it or not, I just been hella busy. When I'm not acting reckless and foolish in these YouTube streets, there's a whole life that I have to live. You know what I'm saying? Between work, setting up a home. I'm actually trying to ship a vehicle overseas to my home in the DR. So that's been keeping me,
You're Dominican?
I'm trying to import it. I'm sending a car over to the Dominican Republic where I got a house.
No, I'm saying, are you Dominican?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Black Negro. No, since I look Dominican, I think they letting me in.
Rico, I think
my ass might be in trouble.
But Rico, on a serious note, I think that's a whole new stream I think you should speak on, because I don't think people really realize I'm 37. Now's the time to be buying a home in another country instead of seriously, instead of for retirement.
I'm telling you, we did it. Me and my wife, we did it, but it was a hell of a struggle. And however, waiting to this age was a big part of it. And that's why I am counseling my sons now to buy overseas. And I'm like, you don't have to pick the DR like I did. I'm like, you can pick Panama, you can pick Colombia, I know a lot of people who are buying in Africa and Ghana and Kenya. I'm like, Europe is a little bit more pricey, but places that I told them they need to lean into and look, because for one, I tell everybody, there are some better places to be a Black man than in America. Contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of places that it's better to be a Black man. But more so than that, it's where you get the bang for your buck. That's my doggy. Can you see her?
Hey, real quick, Rico, I don't want to keep ignoring the door. Somebody's at the door, Rico. Somebody is at the door.
Really?
I want to welcome to the stage this glorious woman. Streams from morning to afternoon to night. Okay. I thought he was telling me to hush or I was muted. Wow. Unpacking her Black, helping us unpack ours, helping everybody through their situations in life, with good advice and allowing you to share your thoughts and feelings and to emote. You're not crying, you're emoting. So we want to thank and bring up Sister JP the Matriarch. Hi, welcome, JP.
How's your spirit, Rashawn?
I'm well. How are you today?
I am glorious. Daniel just got off to work, and so I'm checking in and checking out what's going on with you. Hey, brother Rico, we ain't been on the panel, I don't think, yet since you've been back. But anyway, glad to see you.
Yes, I just was telling the gentleman that I just been busy with non-YouTube shit.
Ain't that
Believe it or
nice?
not, that still goes on.
IRL. IRL. Real quick, let me acknowledge the ladies in the chat. Some of my favorite ladies are in the building. We got Kawaii Bree 123 Twitch Gang official. Thank you for being
Bet you
in
do
here,
got the
Bree.
ladies butterscotch bear. Oh, I'm
There you
sorry.
go. There you
My bad.
there
I'm
you
a
go.
mute. I'm a mute.
There you go. Miss Nebraska. I love Miss Nebraska. Another Twitcher. Miss Nebraska is another dope streamer. Just like Kawaii Bree 123. Y'all, please get on Twitch. There are some very great streamers over there as well with a variety of content. They definitely have a variety. So anything you like, I promise you they got it over there. And we got our sister Princess K in the building. Thank you for popping by. I do appreciate you. Definitely. So after acknowledging the chat,
How you doing, JP?
I'm peace, AR. How's your spirit? Are you bothered that I called you CAC early in the stream?
No, I didn't know what that means, but my white spirit is doing awesome. And
well, that's what I wanted to talk to. CAC, it starts with cracker, it ends with cracker, and it's got a whole lot of ass in the middle.
Oh,
I was just trying. I wanted to put it politely because we were starting the stream. By the end of the stream, we'll be there.
Hey, Arshawn, look, Arshawn, can you give me some of those Twitch content creators to follow? Because I do have a Twitch account, and I think the only person I subscribed to was Yella. So I know you rock with some good content creators because I'm not familiar with Twitch. So if you could put me up on game and say, check this person out, check this person out, I like to know some of before I end up signed up with a bunch of damn fools over there in Twitch.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that they got some fools over there too, right?
Yeah, I can point you to some fools too if you want some
fools.
No.
So I figure if you put me on some decent ones, then I don't need to go looking no further. I don't know where to look.
Twitch, I didn't know until Yella pointed. They got the full range over there too. Listen, Twitch you got your gamers, which what we thought it was. Then you've got your podcasters, like the variety streamers like Yella, Kawaii Bree does a lot of anime, but she does gaming, so they're variety streamers in my opinion. Miss Nebraska does a lot of different content as well. But you've got some news people that do like full-on news broadcasts. You've got DJs that are just like mixing up R&B, rap, soul, electronic, whatever you listen to. They're doing mixes, and that can just go all day. They'll just send you to the next DJ, and you can rock out all day with DJs. You've got your ASMR, so if you got those people like AR that just likes to sit in the mic and you got a little bit of that over there. I mean, you got people. There's all kinds of stuff, and I found some other not just the different kind of content, but there's like some hood on Twitch too. I was shocked. I was like, oh, these dudes is on here. Like they were just talking like.
AR, what you say? We can't have nothing for them Negroes.
Play the clip on, Sean. Play the clip.
Listen, you crotchety old men. Let me just say this first. It's not us. It just is social, right? Because the way that I look at it is kind of like Twitch is a display of social media and anime genres combining, right? The way that anime has all of these slice of life genres, you could just be doing all of the Shotokan, whatever it is, they're different. That's how Twitch is. And it's migrating that way into YouTube. Instead of YouTube, it's coming over, those characteristics are coming over because YouTube's trying to build communities. But YouTube, crotchety yo fellas, I'm surprised that you even got a Twitch, AR. How'd that happen?
Arshawn, every time I come to Arshawn about an idea, he says, yeah, but on Twitch. Like, damn, nigga, you work for them? The fuck, man?
It's the light skin affiliation. Go ahead. That's why I didn't get the memo. I understand now. Got to be a part of the action. Okay.
You're already on Twitch, JP. But we got to tell AR to
my name out your fucking mouth.
Understand? Hey, man, dropping my name, brother.
But real quick, everybody. Real quick is that go ahead. Speaking of Will Smith, we talk a lot about on the Sundays about reinventing yourself. So even at his level, he has to reinvent himself. Isn't that crazy? No matter how old you get, your accomplishments, you still have to reinvent yourself. and he
But I don't
definitely.
think that's crazy. I think that's a healthy thing to do.
I think it is too, but
I
it's
think,
just.
I tell my kids every 10 years, reinvent yourself. Just,
I say 7, but okay.
you can't stop answering to your name, but you can change the things that you do, some of your habits, some of your associations, some of your interests, because you'll find out. I found out that there are some things that I loved I found out in my 30s and 40s that I wish I had known in my 20s. I was like, damn, So I think it's a healthy thing. I push for everybody, but most people, especially, well, I'm not gonna say just our community, but a lot of communities, people get stuck in tradition, and it's like they just can't get out of it. They're definitely afraid to change anything about themselves, even getting to know different types of people. So I just think that's kind of silly. So reinvention, he should be able to do it every fucking year if he wants to, with the money and wealth and influence that he has. So the fact that he got pushed into doing it, to me, is just kind of dumb.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Nebraska. It's one of the things that being military and marrying military gave me was the ability to, every 3 years you move. So whatever it was that didn't work for you, whether it was something inside of yourself or the people that you ended up being around, you had an opportunity to change that. And so this will be the first time, like, I've never been anywhere that I can think of more than 5 years. I'm trying really hard to make Tucson the first place that I do that. But I'm not going to say that it's not going to happen. I've not known true love the way y'all talk about it until 46. So, but then again, I am also almost 3 months old. So it just depends on how you slice the pie, I guess.
Definitely. I had a question, but man, it went away that quick. Golly, it went away so quick. I think it was AR. He like you said, the CAC-ness, his CAC-ness distracts me. Like from my black side gets put off. I'm like,
you want to love him, but then the CAC just erupts right at you, and it's so
it just comes right out.
That's actually a black side because y'all don't work that much, right? Y'all don't work, so that's actually a black side.
Beg your pardon.
As far as Sean's black side, it doesn't work.
Arshawn, he the one who keeps Look, Arshawn, he the one who keeps changing his name like he got creditors looking for his ass.
He did.
Yeah, don't he though?
And ex-girlfriends.
They went from man spirit to woman spirit. Oh shit, they found me. Him versus her solution. What is it gonna be next week? Pay your fucking bill.
Hey man, you
tell your pay your fucking bill.
Rico, you just said it's okay to reinvent yourself.
Not to hide from creditors.
You can't take the stuff with you.
That is hilarious. You are hiding. I didn't even think about that. It's like a club that's always getting the shootouts.
Yep.
Listen,
every other week they got new name.
These creditors are gonna start coming on their streams. Watch.
You wait till you have to end up in the urban sphere. But you change your name then to what?
Gotcha. Look, we're gonna have a bunch of shit in his kids' names.
Wow, white boy Rick
got a cable bill. 3 years old with a cable bill.
I actually had that when I turned 18. I was like trying to get my first credit card. I was like, nah, you owe, but
good motherfucker. That's what you
that
get.
Was definitely your black side.
I was like, I gotta pay what?
And what you do? You waited 7 years for it to come off because you didn't pay it.
No, actually, it was probably around like $3,000 around that amount. Different. I started to pay it off because I didn't want to, unless you want to report your family, right? so I just I started to work off and just paying it off, and then you
should have did like the rest of us. You just wait 7 years.
Just wait to 7 years. I had some family members put phone bills in my name back in the day when you paid by the minute. Yeah, buddy. And I was in Texas and they was in North Carolina. You want to talk about some bills, bro? Okay.
Look, I ain't in a hurry. I can wait.
Rico went off about the doggone Miss Cleo the other day. Hey, I had some stuff like when I got the receipts and I was like, what the hell you talking about? Yeah. But then it's your family. You love them. You can't. Can I sit still for 7 years? That's what happens, though.
I mean, the things they put in my name was stuff that they use for us to do and stuff like that. But I mean, it just taught me a lesson of, okay, that's not something that I would put my kids through. Nah. On a serious note, even if I become extremely broke and I become tempted, don't do that. you know, because I'm pretty sure they was in a certain situation where it was just like, well, you know, for Christmas, I want y'all to have, you know, the lights on. So this is the only way I know how to do that. Let me tell you something, man. I had a new Santa Claus every year so I could get gifts. I don't know.
Real quick,
I remember. I know what I'm talking about.
While I remember, hey, because I'm about to forget, man. I'm about to forget again. Rico, did you catch the intermission I played earlier? I know JP caught it. Did you catch it? Okay. I'm only going to play about 20, 30 seconds of it. I just need you to catch the first 20, 30 seconds, y'all. We'll be right back. Yeah, man. I had to add you in. I had to give you a special feature, a special shout out. Yeah, man.
I gotta send you some pictures from my last trip.
Yeah.
Can I just chime in on that part where y'all were talking about being given credit and whatnot? Rashawn, we talked about this early on in my doing this, and to me the message is super important because it is part of me. To me, I'm not a YouTuber. I am my content. I talk about my lived experiences. I talk about the things that I see and understand, or I'm trying to figure out how to move forward in the world, right? And so I get feeling some type of way when you give people, or you know, listen, just say you got the information from me so I can check it out. I want to be able to support you because I want to see you grow. And it's to the point now where a couple of times I really considered not sharing the things that I know or I've been able to achieve because I worked hard at that shit. I'm not out here, jumping on everybody's bandwagon to get it done. It's me, my ingenuity, duct tape, and 550 cord. I get it done or I don't get it done. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not asking anybody for anything other than, hey, JP helped me with that. Shit, I'm damn near 4,000 watch hours in with 251 subscribers. Ain't nobody do that but JP. You understand what I'm saying? Can't nobody say, well, she was always over here, she was always over there. You got to put in the work. But then you do kind of have to accept that there are fakers out here. It's not just us. At one point, Black content creators weren't willing to go on TikTok anymore and dance because their content was being stolen, and then larger predominant culture platforms were actually getting the credit for it.
AR fucking peoples.
You know it.
I just seen the McDonald's clip.
Rhythm having asses.
The McDonald's clip.
Blame Hammer.
Damn, it's a movie about McDonald's, and man,
if you don't
ass
can't catch can't carry a tune with handles.
People will steal your ideas, man. People that have a little bit more money, they'll copyright that or
don't say people's, say your people's. Stealing all over TikTok.
Is it my people? TikTok is by the Chinese, so it ain't my people.
No,
it's not Asian.
Stealing my people and getting credit for the dance. That's rampant.
I mean, it's smart, you know. But I think at the same time, it's time for us Black people to you know, when I tell my people this stuff, they say, okay, but how much does it cost? It's gonna cost fucking money. It's gonna cost money to trademark something. It may not be a lot, it may be a little. It's gonna cost money.
But you can't trademark something like a dance. And I think
yes, you can. You can.
You can trademark the name of the dance. You can't trademark the dance. And that was the very first. That was the most critical things people spoke about. Was all of these Black content created, choreographed, and made all these new dances, and they got no popularity. But once a white content creator did the exact same dance, they got so popular, people thought they created the dance.
No, yeah, no,
and that's
Rico.
happened probably 20 times or more.
But even with the name, you can. I don't know if the word is
Trademark the
copyright,
name.
but I think it's that same like that other. It was a video game, Fortnite, right? All those dance moves from Snoop Dogg, all of them, they had to pay out close to $1 billion to these people because they took those dances and put it inside the game. The issue is that we don't understand the value of the things that we're doing. But when the white person sees it,
that's involved. Yes.
the white person will see it, and intellectual property. There you go. The white
I've been
man will
working in
see
it
it.
for over 35 years.
Oh, got it. Okay, so yeah, so you
Absolutely.
probably understand way more than me. But
Right. I would say we understand intellectual property. We understand the value of what we have to offer. We do not know how to protect it. Right? That's the bigger thing. I understand intellectual property. I understand the value of what it is that I have to offer just based on the years of experience that I've been in the world, right? Yet, where do you go? Who do you trust? Until recently, there weren't a lot of Rico Youngs who could say, I've been in this game this long. You can come to me. I'm a face that looks like you. You can trust me to be able to do that. There were more CACs in the world who were willing to say that, but not actually stand on that. And so now people who didn't have the means or the knowledge can find someone like him who can give them that understanding, and then they can move forward. Sometimes we have to be willing to take a little bit of a loss to be able to move our people forward. We just don't, in my opinion. I apologize.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I just got a notification, so it just had me smile. I wanted to give him a salute. But this is really quickly, I want to say, is the last of a series of vids based on topics highlighted by my misfit moderator, Inya. I do appreciate the challenge that she laid out for me, and I definitely did each topic very differently. So it did help me realize what I am and am not as a creator, because I did do, again, 3 different styles, and I'm like, I am not as diligent as I thought I was. I didn't enjoy the research aspect as much as I thought I did. So if you want long form essays, people, I definitely would tell you to go and check out a guy named FD Signifier, like Frank Delano. Those aren't his names, but FD Signifier. He does some wonderful long form essay content. He even did something on the Slap that included things about like black boy bravado that is cultivated in youth. So FD Signifier, if you like long form essays on cultural topics, FD Signifier is your guy, because I ain't got it in me, y'all. I ain't got it in me. But without further ado, and as you all know, I have questions. So with that, I want you all to check out my first question. Bam, question of the day. How are we as Black people still dealing with the very same issues from almost 100 years ago that Carter G. Woodson talked about in his book? The same issues. Like the same. Like, not like they morphed. Some of them are the same. So how in the world, with all the advancements that we've made, have some things just never changed?
Okay, but just to frame it, can you name just one issue so that we
Ooh.
can know kind of like what?
Got you. So specifically, one of them, and it's going to be one of the last ones we talk about, is group cohesion, social cohesion, Black cohesion. We talk about this a lot in the online spaces. I know I've heard this so many times, how we can't come together, we can't get together, we can't build with each other for this, that, and other reasons. So that's at least one of them that he was talking about way back then. Also, he talked about education a lot. Our education was under the control of outsiders. That's the word he used. Outside control. So our education was under outside control. So our Black boys and Black girls were going to institutions that were ran by white people predominantly. So they did, and I believe that also led to some of the school to prison stuff that I talked about a couple weeks back, because they don't live with us. They come into the community, teach, and walk out. So they don't have a relationship. So then there's a breakdown there as well. So there's a whole host of things, almost anything you could think of. He was talking about 100 years ago. And it's interesting, like even our politics, even if we elect people and politicians, they become ineffective. He talked about people, the spook who sat by the door effect, where we think we're going to get into we're going to get into the system and change it from the inside. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to make the changes. I'm going to be the change I want to see in the world, but I'm going to go into the system and get it done. I'm going to become a cop and I'm going to fix the corruption. So he talked about all that stuff, and we're still dealing with those very same issues among many more that he talked about. But go ahead, anybody jump in on that one. Why are we still dealing with the same issues from 100 years ago?
If you want me to go first, I will.
Jump in.
Several reasons. Well, number one, we can do it ourselves, right? When I say we, us as American Black people can do it ourselves. We have more than enough, we have even several billionaires that's actually Black in America, born in America. But I think that when it comes to these elite rich people, it's something about population control that no matter what color, when someone reaches that, I think 100 million mark, it's like they no longer become Black anymore. It's like they're just their own people, all the rich people, like their own people. And they don't, I think if they try to help, they'll probably end up missing. I'm talking about like actually doing work to help us. But several reasons, democratic policies, right? There's no city in America that's Democratic ran that's doing even decent. Black men is what in America? 3% Black men? Something like that in America? But it's over 50% of violence.
Closer to
right?
6%, because if we're 13% of the population, half are Black men.
Half of Black men? So 6% in the country, approximately, but 50% of the violence done is from Black people, right? Black males. Too much freedom, too much reproducing, too much support of outside of American country, right? Like I think Biden just sent, I don't want to do the numbers, but a ridiculous amount to Ukraine, which used to be part of Russia, but I'm not going to get into all that. Too many trying to support. You're trying to support Africans. Why are we still sending food out to poor people? Why are we not moving poor people to the food? How many years and decades and centuries we got to keep supporting the same area? There's no food. Nigga, there ain't no food there. There's no fucking food. Y'all always gonna starve. So let's take y'all and move you to the food.
So you pro-immigration then?
I don't pro-immigration. I am not.
But America feeds a large portion of the world.
I think we should stop that for about a good year.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is because we do that because we can produce the food in America. Monsanto's and these large, ag companies, they produce a lot of food, so they can. So if you're saying move the people to the food, you're talking about moving a lot of more people into America.
Hell no. There's food in Africa.
So
keep the asses right over there.
Right. So
but really, what I think is that like we're
gonna move to another poor country with no food.
I think just let them work it out. Let them work it out.
So we've got to send them the food because America.
No. Don't send them the food because what is it going to cost to send them the food?
So let them starve.
Just let them do that because you have
let them starve.
You have Tyrone, 10-year-old Tyrone across the street that needs a lot of attention.
Okay.
I think the focus. If we keep talking about Black people, okay, whoa. The focus really needs to be on Black people because there's just so much. We're not talking about starvation for the most part. We're talking about abuse in the home. We're talking about lack of education, lack of social skills. There's just so much that goes on in a household. America I believe we have more than enough funds to fix our problems. What is it? $1 billion a year spent on weaves from the Black community? The fuck is that?
Excuse me, a large portion. Excuse me. Can I address a couple things? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start with the little comical part.
Hey Rico, before you do that, can I just do this real quick? Because after he was finished talking, I just thought.
Dear Jesus, Heavenly Father, in the manger and whatnot, is this your man's?
But Rico, nothing I said was comical. I was not joking about anything.
But see, even if you're not joking, you left out a lot of shit. Because I'll tell you, and Black men love to throw out this 6 million Black women are not if 6% of the population is black men, the other 7% is black women. They ain't spending no billion. 7% of the population spending $1 billion on weed. No, it's a whole lot of fucking white people buying weeds too. That's what you're leaving out, because they don't have the economic power to purchase $1 billion a year worth of weeds. Yes, they are buying weeds, but they are not the only one. Okay, that's a hidden fact that certain people in our community refuse to see. We only see it among us. We don't see it among others. So if the problem is weaves, it's not a black woman problem. It's a woman problem. All women. Fake hair is bought to make wigs. People with cancer. Women dealing with alopecia. There's a number of reasons.
Rico, in America,
I do think I think in our community, I would take exception to women of low economic status wasting money on fucking weaves when their money could be better spent on something else. So I would agree with you there. But just to say it's a black woman thing is silly at best.
Well, we're talking about black people, right?
Right, I know. But you said like we spend $1 billion on weave, and I'm like, that's
because within the black community, $1 billion worth of weaves is spent on the number may be off, but on the now I think it's according to like 7 billion in the world, but we're talking about according to Black America, right?
So what I'm saying is no, it's $1 billion worth of weed sold in America. I'm saying that's not all black women that's purchasing that weed. We can't quantify the totality of weed sold in America strictly to one racial demographic. When we
was only talking about the black women.
Asian, I know, but I'm saying they don't. If we could quantify it and say, okay,
so how much are black women spending in America? So
I know they're not spending the total.
So if you don't know, why you
Because
you don't know, but you're commenting on it.
But this is what I'm saying, AR. You're saying the total cost, and I know that other races of women buy weed, so they can't be buying it all.
Let's go all the way down 200 million on weaves. That's
okay.
I'm talking about recreational weaves.
I'll accept that. Yes, I'll accept it, and I'll accept that that's a problem, because I accept it's a problem for people who shouldn't be spending their limited resources on that shit. Now, if you got money to burn, you buy whatever the fuck you want. If you rolling in the dough, making 6-7 figures, buy all the weave you want. I don't care. But if I do take exception, a woman of low income that needs to spend their money better, then they don't need to be spending it on stuff like that. So I take your point. One other thing I want to push back on, because I've heard this on another podcast, and I think it's wildly problematic, that whole 6% responsible for 50%. In particular, I think the issue is they said like the 6% of black men are responsible for 50% of homicides or maybe violent crime, right? And I even heard a cop preach that. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But there's a huge portion of the data that's left out. You know what that is? Unsolved. Unsolved. Literally a third of homicides every year in this country go completely unsolved.
Unsolved.
They don't
know who fucking did it.
But I know, but
that's not higher than that.
Huh?
I know it's 50. It's over 50. It's over 50% in my city. Are you sure it's not a higher rate?
But when I last checked, I looked at the FBI stats. It might be. So I'm saying
urban, it's unsolved in urban communities.
When they say black men commit, that's solved homicides. The total number, you would have to include the unsolved, because what if 90% of the unsolved are committed by white people? Then that would totally skew the number, correct? Because that's an unknown quantity.
Most of the crimes that happen in urban communities. But anyway.
No. Unsolved, you don't know who did it.
But we know the areas, which is in.
No, you can't do that because if that. Okay, so if that's the case, all the crime in white communities are done by white people.
But I don't know why people are so. If we're talking about black issues,
I'm just saying that.
I know, but
we're talking about black issues, I want us to state facts truly, and not just to throw out rhetoric.
Okay, so black people commit 35% of homicide. So it's a low percentage. It's under 10% of black men. But let's give it a low number. Let's say 20%.
That's too much. And that's a problem. Okay. I just say, look, they commit a disproportionate number of violent crimes. I'm not going to throw out a wild speculative number that all of a sudden they use that to beat us over the fucking head. Now, there are several reasons even for that, Because again, I say you have to look at the metrics of, okay, how much resources go into solving crimes or being over policed, and those are scientifically has been proven. So
we're not policed enough.
Okay. I do believe. You know what? This is the one place I do believe in with policing, more preventative police. I believe in just in the black neighborhood, just had the motherfuckers walk the beat. That would cause a reduction in crime. But in a lot of areas, they come after the fact, and they're kind of heavy-handed, you know. And like, if you're out there all the time, you know, people would be a lot less reluctant to do it. So I do agree in that point. But that's all. I just wanted those 2 points because, again, I hear it repeated and thrown out. And like I said, when you don't take into account the unsolved homicides or the unsolved violent crimes, and we are horrible at solving crimes in this country. A lot of motherfuckers just flat out get away with it. And they're not going to go heavy-handed in the white neighborhood. I promise you that. In a middle-class white neighborhood, you ain't going to see the police banging on doors, rousting, kicking in doors. We like in my neighborhood, nobody's not going to kick in my door and say, "Oh, somebody told us there was drugs in there." But that shit happens in the urban neighborhood all the time.
Because there's drugs in there.
My sons, he smoked weed. Wasn't no drugs in there at the time, but they literally kicked the fucking door in and tossed the whole fucking apartment. And you know what? DC didn't pay to fix it. That's a DC, New York, Chicago, LA, all the time. You only hear about that shit happening in low-income communities of color. They're not going to do it. I want to see them do that shit.
Who's running that? What party is running that?
Democrats. Okay.
Cut it out. Y'all going there with it. Now, I want to go back to the question. I know we were going down a rabbit hole of stats and stat checking.
So that was his answer. Let me tell you what.
There you go. Thank you.
So my thought on the question is, and I'll answer it almost with the question because, like you premised it that, you know, we are letting our kids be educated by outsiders. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes in the magical world. All the black teachers in the black neighborhood happen to be black. Right? And they live in our neighborhood. Great. But still, what they have to teach still will be a white education. Because at the end of the day, we live in a global society that's dominated by white supremacy. So I can't teach these black kids just a bunch of blackety shit that's going to hold no value when they go out into the world. I mean, it'll hold a personal reverence, but I'm not talking about, white teachers can teach you about Africa.
I get what you're saying.
Topic, but they're not going to you can't wholly structure a black education that's distinct from the dominant education of the world. We just can't do it. They're teaching the dominant white education in Asia. They're teaching that shit in Africa. They're learning about African shit, but they're learning about English shit too, because when they interact in the world, unfortunately, we can't. The argument, you know, the resegregating argument. I'm like, that's just not going to work anymore. So 100 years later, I think we would have been better off if we made those changes 100 years ago. How we can do them 100 years later is almost a fallacy because it's just not going to work. So again, like I said, all black teachers, I'm like, what are they going to teach? 80% of their curriculum will still mirror the curriculum that the kids are getting today. Now, what I would like to see is more of an emphasis in our community on education, period. That's where I see where we're dealing with the same problem is, I think 100 years ago, we were starting to strengthen the argument around education because we knew in a segregated, discriminatory society, we would push education more if we were still being openly discriminated against. Because we're not. Because for 100 years ago, you knew that's your only fucking way up to anything was an education. Now, people don't think that that's necessarily required as much. So, if anything, I hate to say it, if we want to push better education for young black boys and black girls, it's almost like you have to pray for them to openly go back to discriminating against us openly, putting our ass back on the back of the bus, doing this and doing that. Because at that point, we fought like hard. Okay, well, fuck it. Everybody gonna do it. Me too. All right. So at that point, right, it was only when we were segregated and discriminated against that education was pushed up at the forefront. Ever since then, once we got integration, people stopped openly being discriminated against. We sort of fell back into this mental laziness mindset where I'm not going to say, lazy. I'm going to say it. It's just a mental laziness, and it's not all of us, but far too many of us. Even if it's only a quarter of us, and I only think it's only maybe 25% of us, but that 25% makes a horrible image of us as a fucking whole. 75% of us are really doing well, but that 25% is loud, they're obnoxious, they're horrible, and they consistently put them out front to make us look bad. They don't do that with the other community. So AR White side of his family, they don't put the trailer parks on TV every night, but they're fucking there. They're twerking in the trailer park.
Not my family.
They are twerking in the trailer park, exactly. And all them meth heads, and go to West Virginia, not too far from me. They got whole towns full of fucking meth heads and oxy addicts and whatever.
My family's good white folks, bro.
Okay, well,
whatever.
I'm
hey, Rico.
Yes, sir.
I say I want to get JP in, man. Y'all, I want to get JP. Why do you think after 100 years we're still in a lot of ways in the same places?
Because we don't understand that we are a second world nation inside of a first. Because we don't understand that a lot of the things that we speak about as being Black societal or urban problems are actually poor white trash problems put onto us as an extension of white elitists talking shit about poor white Southerners who owned slaves or barely did or might be close to slaves. And so we don't know those things because we don't know our history. We keep trying to run abroad or run everywhere else or allow everybody else to tell us who we are and what we're about until such time as we can foundationally say, I'm Black, blackity black, all the way Black on Sunday, any day of the week I'm Black. I don't have to tell you that I'm Black. Whatever I say means it's about Blackness, and that's just fine, and not run from it. And when the crackers and the assimilators and the ones who came over here and bent the knee get upset because shit ain't working right for them, it's not our problem anymore. I'll back my ass up out this system and have me a good life while you figure out how to get yourself together when the chips fall.
All right, real quick, what you got there?
No, I just don't understand. Like, if we're talking about Black issues, normally Black people cannot answer the question without involving white people.
Y'all
the blame
involve
is
everybody
always
else.
on the white people.
They are the source of our issues. You got to address the source.
That.
They're the source of our
history.
Yeah, they're the source of our issues.
AR, wait. Okay, let's couch this real quick in some sensibility. AR, why are Black people in this country?
Amen, Miss Nebraska. Sorry.
Why are we even here?
Can you provide proof that slaves were brought to America?
White people will tell you that they brought slaves to America.
Jesus.
Thank you.
What white person brought?
If black people now listen. If Black people will tell you, if there are bills of lading of ships and how many passengers were, if the Queen of England, if they have registers of how many importations of slaves they brought, if Portugal does it, if Spain does that,
bro, I believe Black people was already here.
Some were.
Okay.
Some were already here, exactly.
The United States is the lone country that did not import Black people. Is that your supposition?
What was the question, Arshad? You said 100 years?
100 years ago.
Okay.
I want to get. Let's not switch the question. You asked like why are white people the source, right? So even if some Black people were here, right? Did they import slaves to America, the United States?
No, I believe African imported slaves to America.
Okay, hold on. You said 100 years. Stop. Gentlemen.
Arabs brought.
Gentlemen,
white people did not go.
You said 100 years. 100 years is no more than the 1930s. In the 1930s, hold on. Let's just deal with it from there.
The Arabs brought them over here.
Can we?
But who had them
in the time frame? See, there you go. I thought we were going to stop.
Did you finish school, AR?
Oh, Jesus, Father. Okay.
And I guarantee you, They taught you that in the schools you went to. So why are you
What?
denying the very education that you were given? Why are you denying the education you were given? Because were you not taught that, yes or no? That was factual and true. Were you not taught that, sir? Why are you denying that white man's education that he gave you?
So, okay, so let's grant it. Let's I want to hear what JP had to say. I really want to hear what JP had to say. And then we're just going to give the white man his due. All right, JP, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, even if you just take it to the 1930s, looking at the Harlem Renaissance era and that time frame, right? There was a tamping down of unionizing of black folks, of people coming together, and it was done by the predominant culture who was what? White. So now we're back at understanding what happened to us during history and how it continues to affect us today. That same thing. We are in the midst of a renaissance. I talked about Madam C.J. Walker's daughter. All of you folks are out, so many people, excuse me, are out here talking about how we should be spending the black dollar, this, that, and the third. You know what she did? She fueled that movement. You know about Zora Neale Hurston and Langston Hughes and so on and so forth, because her daughter spent every dollar of her mother's million to help fund that shit. So that's understanding, because the white folks that she was having parties with didn't think she was good enough. She wasn't blue blood enough. She was tall enough and entertaining enough because she was different and eccentric, but they did not take her in. She provided a space for everything you think you appreciate and love about blackness today. So chill out and get a lesson.
Well, I think that's great, JP. You spoke about black people without mentioning white people. You know,
No, I didn't.
I think that's great.
Check what I just said.
You know, the thing is that
You might not be able to hear white, but I said white more than once.
We're talking about black issues. Why 100 years ago, right? I've never been in chains. I've never been in chains.
I moved the narrative up 100.
I've never got my ass beat,
baby. Get where we're at. I said 1930. Get with me. The program is 1930. You're talking about slavery, not me.
Okay.
Move it up.
I didn't say no.
Move it up.
JP, I'm not saying
about
you.
Chains. We're talking about the discussion right now.
Yeah, the discussion is based off the question.
1930.
Based on the question.
That's 100 years.
Yes.
That's 100 years. So let's get to 100 years. We ain't talking about chains.
I can talk whatever I want to talk about. What I'm talking about.
As long as you know you're not on the narrative of the conversation, then we're fine.
We're talking about slaves. Arshawn brought up slaves and so Arshawn beats what he just asked me. He just asked me about slaves and shit. That's beyond 100 years. So we're talking about the issues we have now, but we want to blame white people. Great. Okay, cool. But as of in 2022, we do have why are we still allowing the white man to hold us down and keep us in this same position? That's because we choose to have it. It must be a good position to be in. If we stay in it for 100 years of having freedom, it must be good to be under these white supremacist laws or whatever the case, whatever we want to classify why black people are doing some crazy shit in this world. It must be great to have these white men. Whatever, I don't want to say the wrong words, but it must be great to be under their laws, because we know we can do much better. I could blame my mom, I could blame my father, I could blame all kinds of people, but in 2022, me as a 37-year-old man, even if I didn't have the education I had, even if I didn't have the resources, or I knew Arshawn, even if I didn't know about StreamYard, I still don't have to go out and rob a nigga.
No, if I didn't have the resources, I think I see where you're going now. I think I see the way you started. You're muted, JP. The way you started the conversation, I like that. I know I'm muted, but yeah, the way you started that, and I'm gonna use this manosphere term, was very disingenuous. But where you were trying to go was, right now we have enough freedom and personal responsibility that we can improve our conditions should we choose to. Like, if I'm to sum up your point, would that be a fair way to say it?
That's a fair way to say it. And also, no, that's a fair way. That's a fair way to say it. But maybe I'm blind. I don't see shit. I don't see any white man fucking with me. I don't as of right now. Listen, I don't see no white man fucking with me.
Okay.
I have 9 brothers.
I'm gonna tell you what you're doing. This is a B9. This is a B9ism. You're trying to take a macro conversation and turn it micro. You're saying what the entire group has gone through is invalid because of what I have not gone through. So that's what you just said. You just said I have not been in chains. You just said this out of your own mouth.
And I was naming other people.
I have not had a white man.
I said 9. I was about to say I have 9 brothers, and I'm about to go on with a whole bunch of other people. You know, as
they're
far
not
as
here.
that.
How can you prove they haven't been harmed by white people? They're not here to speak up for themselves. If you will not accept the years of history that is on the books from all the nations of the world, then I'm definitely not going to accept your account of what your brothers have gone through. That's hearsay.
Well, you don't. Well, listen. If you're gonna take an account of books, then most people should be a Christian, then, right? Most people should believe Jesus Christ died on the cross. That's history as well.
Huh?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
No, I didn't hear you.
That didn't make sense to me. Most people should be a Christian because the book is history. Or
Sean saying that there's books of history.
Yes.
Regarding slaves and so forth. So I said, okay, so the Bible. So most people, a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, but
right.
So it's not accept the book on face value. I actually agree with AR on it being a history book. Thus, we should recognize that it's history and not try to live by all that today, for starters. But okay, never mind. I'm gonna chill out.
You want to couch it? Yeah, I get you. AR, not every book is supposed to be taken literally. I'm not going to try to enroll a child at Hogwarts. So just because it's written down on paper doesn't make it real. So again, that's another like disingenuous argument. Like that you make because it's written down, that doesn't mean I should believe it. No, some things are works of fiction.
And your next argument will be that most black boys don't read past the 4th grade level. So come on, man, it's all disingenuous.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not using a trigger word with disingenuous, but I mean it's a bad faith argument. I don't know what you want to. I don't know what word I want to use.
Well, what I'm saying is not everything I've said so far. You can't prove me wrong. Most black people in America are affected by other black people. Like I don't know, y'all think the white man is some powerful monster that comes at the night and fucks you up and steals your money. What are we talking about here?
All right, so listen, I'm gonna reframe this whole thing. This entire conversation is about the work set up by Carter G. Woodson in 1933, who was a black man who saw for himself like the impacts of slavery and the Reconstruction era. All right, so we're talking about a book. If you want to discount the lived history of a lot of humanity, that's fine. But for this conversation, if you're going to discount everything that we're trying to have a conversation about, it's not useful to the conversation. So I mean, so either you can count yourself in the reality that this conversation is taking part in, or you're just going to continue to derail it by just invalidating the entire conversation, because this entire conversation is built upon the premise that slavery did happen. And the things that what happened after it are something that we need to contend with and figure out. After we got freedom and we started to build and Reconstruction, then there was a wave of racial terror, followed by codified laws known as Jim Crow, the Black Codes, and weird things like that. Redlining. We're understanding that history is true, and that's what's framing this conversation. And if you're going to say all of that is false, then as much as I like you, brother, you're going to just derail this conversation because you're going to say, well, all of you guys are just making up stuff. So like, even if for the sake of conversation, you can't pretend like if that's true, if slavery is true, then we should have done this. If you can't participate in that way, then you won't be able to participate. And again, I'm not trying to take any shot or disrespect. I'm just saying, as far as the conversation, it's just going to be confusion if you can't participate in it from a framework of like even assuming it's true.
Basically saying, AR, if you don't get the fuck off the panel. But what I'm really saying is that I never said slavery didn't happen. You asked me who brought them over here. We disagree of who brought them here. I do believe slavery exists. I do believe slavery is fucked up what happened. But I don't believe that's what's stopping us in 2022. I believe that's what we're doing.
Right. Yeah, and that's fair. And what I want to say is like what you just said right there. Like, you're arguing about who brought us over here. Well, we're here. So the particulars of who brought us over here and on which ship doesn't matter. we're here, and the people who were owning and operating the country that we were brought to, receipt of stolen property would be the person you hold responsible, because possession is 9/10 of the law. So we're in white hands. Like, so now once we're free, now if you want to say, hey man, y'all been freed long enough, that's a valid argument. You've been freed long enough to make some gains. Like I point out when I try to recouch it, y'all been freed long enough to do something with your time and with yourself. I can hear that. That's a valid argument, but I don't want to get into the nitpicking of the reality of certain histories. I mean, that's cool if you want, like what you're saying is cool on that last part, but like, oh, who brought us over here? Like that's just like a derailment, and we'll never get through. I haven't even gotten to the first question. That was just the question of the day. Real quick, I'm just going through this. Yeah, so I don't let's not go down a particular train, man. So let's have a general conversation about the accepted beliefs and history of this country, if we could. So with that being said, I want to read. This is going to be the first question, but I was supposed to read something. I got derailed. My fault. I got sidetracked, y'all. Carter G. Woodson's the first chapter of this book is called "The Seed of Trouble." It begins by summing up the issues that all of the types of education we receive absorb us into the modes of thinking that allow dominant society to dominate us as a people. It doesn't teach us anything valuable to advance our causes specifically, unless we should assimilate as best we can and become another cog in the machine that is very demonstrably in provable ways has been disproportionately disadvantageous to us. So once the Black professional emerges in this new social class from the programs designed to make him competitive in the system, and he has the social expectation to help his own group, he is both ill-equipped for the task and lacks the requisite love and attachment to his own people. So to paraphrase how Woodson put it, they grow sour, pessimistic, and become a chronic fault finder. Even if they notice the trail of destruction of the Black community leads to a lighter door, so to speak, they won't knock on it. Afraid to attack the source of the problem, they attack the person struggling to remove themselves from their discomfort and anguish. That sounds very familiar. But have we seen Black people who refuse to even admit that Black people face obstacles? Man, I'm so glad that's the first question. JP, what do you think? Have we ever met any Black people who refuse to even admit
I
that
think
Black
AR should be the first person to answer that question. You have the floor, sir.
I think that got me fucked up. But when I first spoke, I spoke on the obstacle of the things that Black people go through and also put themselves through. So I do believe Black people do go through, do face obstacles. I think it is a little over exaggerated. Or I do believe is that maybe probably because we're not as tight niched as other cultures, that we allow things to be done to us by whoever. But I do believe that can you put the question back up? I do believe that we do go through I do believe we go through obstacles, in this country. So
go ahead, JP.
Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna pick at you anymore, AR, because you answered that question by saying I, and it says have we seen. It's not you focused, so I'm gonna be fair. We have seen a ton of Black folks in this space and in the world who refuse to admit that there are problems that Black people specifically go through, separate from what the general society goes through. There are lived experiences. I say something that really either hits home or bothers people, which is that we were not bred for relationship building. These are new tools that we are learning as we are coming into our own voice, power, and authority. And that means accepting a lot of things about Black life that only Black Americans will have experienced.
All right, JP. What about you, Rico?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen far too many Black people who refuse to admit that Black people face obstacles, especially since I'll readily admit I didn't meet them in real life. I never met them until I came into this online world. but obviously that opened me up to more Black people than I normally would see. And there's probably some people that I've met in my own personal life that believe it, but would never speak it. Because I think that most people with an ounce of sense would know that that could be a third rail, especially if they're wrong. The way that the question strikes me is because what I always hear is every time something comes out along the lines of Victim Olympics, it's always tailored towards Black people. I never hear it tailored towards any other group. And I don't think our shortcomings in society are any greater than other groups. I think we have come a significant way in the last 100 years. We probably progressed just as much as women have, probably more than women have in the last 100 years. But I don't see people shame them. You know what I'm saying? So the different classifications, the Asians or the Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? Look at where they're at. I don't see people shame them. It seems to only always get painted towards Black people as being failures, when all other groups, other than the dominant group, I'm not going to use the word fail, their success is no greater from where it was. So if you look at Native Americans 100 years ago, look at where they are today. Look at women 100 years ago, look at where they are today. Look at Latinos 100 years ago. None of these groups have substantially outperformed Black people, but only we are looked upon as a failure. So I oftentimes don't even take the premise of the question at face value, because oftentimes they leave so much shit out. So the problem is that, when we talked about the earlier question about the unity, how can we have unity when there are those within the community who won't even acknowledge the obstacles that we face? So I tell people, and the people who are our biggest disunifiers are the people who made it. It's rarely the people who haven't. So I've faced obstacles I've been successful. I've successfully made it in spite of the obstacles that I've faced as a Black man every step of the way. I've also watched other Black men do the same thing I do that don't make it. So I know that that's not a universal, we all make it, but unfortunately, too many of us that do make it fail to look back at the others or look back and say, well, I made it, why can't you? And I just think that that's a lame ass argument or excuse. There's some women that made it, and there are other women who just were wildly unsuccessful for whatever reason, and we just can't bury our heads in the sand and pretend like these real and true and valid obstacles don't exist. I just think that's disingenuous. That's fucking lazy. So when you talk about Black people being lazy, just saying obstacles don't exist and not wanting to look at the nuance and the sources and the realities, and not to even want to investigate it, just to say I made it so everybody else should have made it, that's fucking lazy to me. Look at the reasons why you made it and others didn't.
Real quick, I want to shout out the people that came in and came through. I definitely want to say salute to Sim. I know when you get a chance, start this stream over. You'll want to check that out. You'll want to check out the intro video, the new intro video, because your name is up there. Risa Neal, definitely appreciate you, young lady. Definitely. I think I already shouted out Miss Nebraska. Yeah, I know I talked about my Twitch gang. Darrell Long, thank you. Let's talk to Brother Back Life. Brother Clarence, appreciate you. Take it home podcast. Chris Classic, thank you, sir. Simon Hectic, Claire Patterson, you have to tell me who that is, excuse me, but Simon Hectic from the 54th state, he's over in the UK, appreciate you. So we got the international love going on, definitely appreciate you. I'm going to move on to the next question, which is part 1B, again, from that very first chapter of Carter G. Woodson's book. Do you agree with Carter, and I like the word on the first name, do you agree with Mr. Woodson that they are afraid to face the source of the problems?
Absolutely.
Let's just go in reverse order. Rico, go ahead. You can start us off, and then JP and AR.
Yeah, just absolutely. I mean, and it's also, and I would say, like, maybe from, it's difficult accepting defeat. It's difficult accepting subjugation. So even, like I said, 100 years ago, doing Carter Woodson and some of the other elites of that day, they had to recognize the fact they were looking for solutions out of the problem, but they had to recognize what the problem was. They knew how the American Negro got into the state that they got. I don't think there was any debate at that point in time about how we got to the state we are. They were fighting against us trying to progress further in spite of it. But part of their problem was 100 years ago and even today, a lot of black people sometimes are resigned to their fate. They're resigned to their lot in life. They're resigned to the fact that this is my status in life. This is my state. And again, if people mentally can take themselves out of just being black or just being American, you will see that this exists in other countries as well. And again, I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about Indians. If you go to India, they have the entire caste system. You have caste systems that exist in Africa. So even within the same racial group, people accept where they fit within a hierarchy. So when you're sitting there and you're trying to upset the apple cart and you're trying to tell the people from the lower end of the hierarchy how we can upset the apple cart to make things more fair, oftentimes the very people you're trying to help are the people you have to fight the most, because there's a comfort in the space that they're in. So I do think that even today, that mindset still exists where people, personally, I think that the whole American exceptionalism is just some bullshit. It's a fraud. Pull yourself up by the bootstrap. It's some bullshit. It's a fraud. Anybody can be anything they want. It's some bullshit. It's a fraud. I never believed it. I never bought it. It just is what it is. You can scratch and claw. I don't think that you can't move up. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they push a narrative that literally anybody and everybody can do it. And the system of capitalism is built on winners and losers. You got to have far more fucking losers than you're going to have winners. So if you, Arshawn, intend on being a winner, you better resign to yourself to the fact that you need to create about 1,000 fucking losers for you to win. Everybody can't win. That's just not the way that the system is designed. It's not designed for everybody in America to be a millionaire, for everybody to be a billionaire. It's not fucking designed. So selling that belief is a false premise within itself. Now, we can't dictate who gets to become it, but everybody can. And if you are of the dominant, if you are primarily in that lower social caste, whether it's on race, religion, sex, it's far less likely that you're going to be that one. So, yeah.
Appreciate you, Rico. Come on, JP, what you got? Do you agree with Mr. Woodson that they are afraid to face the source of the problems?
Yes. You mentioned, it's difficult. Let me just say this real quick. Hey, Laura, you're going to want to come see me, girl. Listen, it's difficult to say I'm willing to die on this hill and tell a politician, you ain't done your damn job, gatekeeper. I'm coming for you. And run and do that, right? It's a lot easier to tell that to said politician than it is to show up at the door and be ready to go to whatever means necessary to establish change. So yes, they are afraid to point out the source or face it head on. It's a new day though. Folks are moving different out here in these streets, so we'll see.
All right, JP. Yeah, when you said "Hey, Laura," first thing I thought was
what?
But I caught on. I caught on after a minute. I remember you talking about
I didn't catch on. I'm clueless.
May I just for a brief moment? So, Rico, a lot of the things that happened to me during the month of February are the results of bad political movements and bad management here in the Tucson, Arizona area. The police basically kidnapped me out of my home at one point. And the woman whom I helped get into office hasn't bothered to return my calls, and yet she sent me an International Women's Day DM on Instagram.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah. So I'm willing to go to war in order to make sure that she either gets her act right or she's no longer in that position. Thus, there are a lot of people who are afraid to go that far.
I definitely rock with that, and I definitely believe in holding our political leaders accountable, for their successes and their failures. And if they're not there for their constituents, then we need to run their ass up out of office or wherever. So I just didn't know when I heard the Hey Laura, I was like, okay, I was just not trying to be nosy.
No. It's fine.
Quoted.
Big Rig asked me why I do it. I said because I don't lose sleep, but she gonna hear my name in her head until she called me. So,
But I think it should be. I think that's the sort of information that, again, like I said, I think as a people, we need to be more. I told Arshawn this a long time ago. We need to be more politically engaged and astute, and we need to hold our politicians, especially at the local level. Fuck the presidential. Everybody get hung up on the Joe Biden and the Hillary Clinton and the Donald Trump. Everybody get hung up on that shit. Those motherfuckers ain't gonna do nothing for us. It's down at your local level. So people are screaming about Biden. I'm like, fuck Biden. Talk to your local congressman and your senator and your city council member. That's the motherfucker that can really make. Like, the Biden don't control my local taxes. My governor does. My county executive, my county councilman, my city mayor. They control my fucking taxes, at least on the state level. Everybody gonna get fucked nationally, but you can control a lot of stuff on your state level, and people fail to realize a lot of your money still goes to your state. For here, it's state, county, city taxes. So if I can't control how much I'm gonna pay, I'm gonna have some say on what the fuck we gonna spend it on. They do a pretty good job.
Definitely. I know Carter G. Woodson. Anybody go check out that book, The Miseducation of the Negro. He did do a chapter on political engagement, but I do want to get to AR on this question. But before we do, man, because I know you were bothered by the exchange, man, I want to check, are we cool? Because I'll put back on your ideas, not you as a person. So I want to make sure we cool.
No, I'm cool with it. I just, if I'm going to answer a question, I got to be able to answer it, or you just might as well just answer it for me.
Yeah, you can answer. Go ahead.
You have to do it right now. Yeah, tell me how to answer the question.
No, because again, I had this same problem with truth. If I'm like, let's say we're having a gender discussion about men and women, and somebody comes in and says, we're trying to, like, men do this, women do this, and somebody says, well, there are no men and women, there are no genders. Well, then the discussion about men and women is fruitless, because this one person is saying the genders don't exist. So now listen, if that's cool. If you want to have the historyless answers, I can let you answer it, and I'll push everybody, like, let's not push back on it. It's just one of these things that's not like the other. So I mean, conversations typically have a realm that they're couched in. Like if we're talking about animals, we talk about animals on Earth, not the ones from Middle Earth. We don't talk about orcs. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can answer anything, but I'd like the answer to be couched in the reality that we're in.
Come on, bro. You're talking to me like I'm one of these little fucks out here. Come on.
Nah, see, that's what I'm saying. You're taking stuff personal, and I'm just trying to give an example.
I'm not. Okay, so put up the question. I need a little bit of context. I don't know exactly what he was referring to as far as the source of the problem.
We talked about Black people not accepting that other Black people are facing racial obstacles.
So you told me what? Because I don't know what he was saying. There's a source of a problem. I don't really know that much about him.
I think what he's saying is that some Black people refuse to face the source of Black people's problem. That basically, I think Carter's position was the agreed upon source at that time 100 years ago, that the source of Black people's problem was white supremacy, and further, in addition, the failure of the Negro to overcome it. So now he was preaching about overcoming problems, but he was saying some Negroes can overcome it because they won't face the source of the problem, which is one, themselves, and not necessarily one, but one part of it was themselves, and one other part of it was rampant racism, bigotry, white supremacy. They both were part of the problem. And because if you have a drinking problem and you refuse to face the fact that alcohol is the fucking problem, you can't overcome it. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure that what Carter said specifically, I understand what Arshawn's saying, but I want to know specifically what he said, as far as the source of the problem. Yeah, I believe that there are people that are afraid to face the source of the problem, because once you face the source of the problem, now for you to fix it, it actually takes work. I believe that it actually takes a lot of work to get out of certain systems or certain urban communities, or even to this day, I'm in certain urban communities. It's hard for me to get out there because I've been here for 37 years, and I've built it could be relationships, jobs, just different things that I'm involved in New York City. That I do feel like it is time for me to let go, which is kind of hard to do. But yeah, I believe people are afraid to face the source of their problems due to the fact that it does take maybe for you to educate yourself in a different way, not maybe higher, but in a different way, learn new things. And I believe that it takes a lot for you to actually work on yourself, making better choices, making different choices. So that's what I'll say to that.
Can I ask a question on this? Can I ask a question just to follow up, not to you, AR, but to all of us? Could part of it be, and I just, because it just popped in my head while I was thinking about it, because I think people oftentimes are fearful of facing their problems. I've thought about the alcohol analysis, or gambling, or sex, or drugs, is because people have difficulty admitting a fear of weakness or failure on their part, on their own individual part. So if it's a drug addiction, or a problem, it's like, okay, you have to face the source of the problem. You can't run from it. Alcoholism. That facing it would mean you have to say, I'm weak, I'm a failure. You have to own that for whatever reason. And that's what I was just thinking about, the psychological aspect of it. And I'm no psychologist at all, but I was just like, yeah, I get it. I think in this aspect, put on your big boy pants, grow the fuck up and deal with it. But I was just thinking like how that could be a part of it. And I just want to put that out. Food for thought to the chat and anybody else, something they can think about.
Rico, you're absolutely right. Because in order to fix the problem, your own problem, whatever the problem is you have to create new habits, right? There's no way you can overcome anything. Everything has to do with, when we did our studies in human behavior, the habit, right? The habit. Usually when you have a repeated offender, most likely a lot of them, they're going to keep being a repeated offender. If someone were to do, they wake up every morning and to do a simple most likely they're going to lose exercise, they're going to lose weight. It's just whatever your normal habit is. And we know that creating a new habit or repeat a long, consistent habit, it does take a lot of work and takes discipline.
Nah, definitely. I do agree, Rico. I do think a lot of that does have something to do with not wanting to be, because it's not just about race. Nobody really wants to be associated with a loser. Like, it's just, nobody wants to be associated with weakness. Like, that's a natural human. A lot of these things are rooted, like AR just talked about, are in natural human tendencies and power dynamics. This just happens to be one this power dynamic is about racial caste systems and all that stuff. So it happens with gender and all that. So like people in these spaces, on these online spaces, talk about women trying to compete with men. Well, there's power. There's a power dynamic that women are trying to ascend. So it makes sense that if you're going to be competitive, you can't be weak. And women have recognized that. They've started trying to move like men to compete with the men. I got to play with the big boys. You've heard that term. I know JP's disagreeing, but it's been said. So if we're talking about power dynamics, we're talking about power dynamics, it makes sense. But I know some of these things have sensitivities attached to them. And race is definitely a sensitive topic. But I definitely agree that wanting to be associated with the loser. Nobody wants to be associated with the loser unless it's like the savior complex. I'm going to save you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to lift you up. So, because that gives them that affirmation of I'm doing some good in the world, but they don't take the time to actually figure out what the problems are. And Carter G. Woodson addresses that kind of stuff too.
I'd like to answer.
Please,
Rico.
go ahead.
Yeah, it comes down to discipline. One of the things that I talk about with other folks in the community is, and something that we just live by here, is doing different daily. It takes 21. It takes doing something 21 times to make it a habit. I tell people to do something for 30 days. Just try whatever it is for 30 days and either make it a habit or a part of your life or it's not. But figure out that thing that you don't care for the most in you in that moment, and work towards that. Or if you're someone who can see problems in others and rarely can see problems in yourself, the thing that you see in others, go ahead and spend 30 days checking to see whether or not it's in you too. So yeah, I think that that's one of the big things, Rico. And then outside of that, you're right. It's power dynamics. I was talking to April Carter earlier. Being a female chef, at some point you can't just keep saying, "Hey, can you go lift that pot? Can you go get them 50 pounds or whatever?" You got to haul that damn bag of sugar and flour, and still be able to tell all those men who are angry with you what needs to be done, and in a time frame that comes with a certain power in your voice that you'll never lose. And yet when it comes to knowing someone else and building relationships, you got to be able to talk to them in whatever tone they need you to meet them at.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get it wrong, but more often than not, we're aiming for, an easy flowing conversation.
And that's funny how men in these spaces demand total, nonstop, unending, forever femininity, but then put you in positions that require masculinity and then frown upon it. And I'm like, it's crazy. There are some times in spaces where, unfortunately, women have to be in a position of masculinity just to be accepted. And there ain't enough times that men are in positions of masculinity because they do the whole woe is me bullshit. So I don't get it. But I'm going to cut that off. Go ahead, Arshawn. Next question.
I was just laughing at Simon's comment. No one is a winner or loser every day. That's disingenuous. Disingenuous.
I'm a
Yeah,
winner
man.
every day. AR's a loser every day.
Ooh.
Continue on. Drink your Coca-Cola.
You just
Hey,
a little
listen,
red-headed butterscotch child of the space, ain't you?
I'm getting his ass while he on the ropes, and I'm gonna keep him on the ropes.
All I gotta say is that, man, if y'all want the smoke, y'all just say it. I am not usually this calm. I'm trying to be a little more polite on Arshawn's show, but
You trying to?
If
What
he-
side
if
are
he-
you trying to lean into
if
right
he
now?
if he put this over on Twitch, man,
I see your ass on Twitch. I see you on them Twitch streets.
I let loose on you, man. You know,
Mine. You don't want in this, mine.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing about me.
Black
Where
side.
you from?
Man.
We woke up Tyrone now.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
No, my cousin
Tyrone coming out.
He's from North Carolina, and he was talking like that. I was like, "The fuck you
Say
saying,
word.
man, or what are you saying? You
He
like,
said,
I
"Man."
didn't understand it.
Hey, you
Right?
know he said, "Man, chill out, man."
Mine.
Like, chill out, man.
Yo, if you meet his granddaddy, he probably still say "Ara." Don't be worried about that. You just let it go.
Ara.
It's a certain thing we got. Some of us lose our accent, but we still know from whence we came. And every now and then, a man, I know me. Hey,
Arshawn,
shawty, what
I
it
love
do?
it.
I can hit you
I
with
love
all
it when I
kinds of
got a white man on the ropes.
Man. And then we got Truth up here. Co-signing this mess. Vote for AR. Make YouTube great again.
Listen, I be trying.
MYGA,
Hey,
nigga.
10 men. 10
Nigga.
men.
Oh, my
Hey.
nigga. My nigga. Make YouTube great again. What's up, my nigga?
My nigga.
My
for
nigga.
sure.
Yeah.
I love my white
True.
people,
Thank
man.
you, True. Thank you. That's my nigga right there. Make YouTube great again. That's my nigga. Yeah,
Ooh,
baby.
I love it.
Yeah, man. I used to like how
They
he
get
says,
dirty over there.
Leave me alone.
In them Durham streets, they get dirty over there, though. It's extra.
cut the grass. Oh, Rico's supposed to be cutting the grass.
Yeah, I know. I actually did it yesterday after a week or two.
All right, 10 men, don't get started. We'll go north with it and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
It's
man.
room for everybody to get some up here. Don't play.
Yeah, I love the accent. Yeah, and Miss Nebraska, if y'all go to Twitch, because he's one of the people I'm gonna send you, Rico, man. Her accent. And Kawaii Bree. What, speaking of the devil, pot calling the kettle. Miss Nebraska, Kawaii Bree, their accents, man. Oh, I love them, man. Love the accents,
I'm
man.
waiting.
And true, yeah, it's all these accents everywhere. I love it. I love
it. It depends, man. Too strong accent. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. I'm from Brooklyn. A lot of the West Indians, their accent has gotten stronger over the years. I've been around them my whole life. It's ridiculous now. It's not even English anymore. But
you gotta love the authenticity, though, right? Right, AR.
Say it again.
You gotta love the authenticity, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and that's what it is. It's like, okay, they're not fake, so fuck it, I'm good. Now I don't know what that nigga said.
The West Indians actually are they're very strong with family. Mm-hmm. So I did grow up around black people being 2-parent household. I've seen that a lot due to Jamaicans, Trinidadians, people from Barbados, and so forth like that. You know, I didn't start seeing that since I got to the Bronx with the Hispanics. Like, damn, y'all hate each other.
And the accents, you got Summer Miss Pies, and then Simon on the YouTube side. We got our Brits.
Good.
Crack your toes, AR.
Crack your toes, man.
Crack your toes, AR.
That one's different.
AR.
Hey, AR, man. Just chill out, man.
Now listen. Mr. Rucker put out a video. My gosh, it was hilarious. His part 2.
Mr. Rucker had me on there. I would love to go off.
Mr. Rucker is at war with I know the black KKK. Like they were like they're anti black men spaces, and he's a
divested community.
He's not. I can't say he's at war with them. He just aired them out. He just
what's so funny was I think I saw that video, and I think he was it was the Themis and Thought guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Rucker.
Grab your coffee, watch the tea. Tea.
And that guy, Themis and Thought, believe it or not, I hate to fucking admit it, he's from DC. So he's in my area. I'm like, oh God.
Mr. Rucker.
Let me say that real quick.
Mr. Rucker.
Listen, hold on. You have, and I'm gonna shut up, Arshang. I know it's your show. You have you have a homosexual telling heterosexual men how they're supposed to have. Am I too loud? It sounds like I'm loud.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not defending any of it. I ain't
defending that shit. But that guy is a homosexual, and he is telling heterosexual men how they should be in relationships. Come on, bro.
I'm not
homosexual. I don't talk about how homosexuals move in their relationships.
I'm an ally of the community, but I agree with what you said. He was out of pocket. Okay.
Oh man.
And
Rico and the allies.
The only thing that disturbed me the most is he's from my area. He's from my hometown. And I'll tell you this, that motherfucker wasn't born and raised there. I'm pretty sure he's a transplant. He probably came from New York City. That one of them New York City motherfuckers that came down here with that bullshit.
New York City.
Listen, anyone that's really from New York, they all moved out. So maybe.
See?
I'm gonna tell you, I wish I had the clip when Rico was talking about being an ally, and it was with JP. Ironically, JP was there too, and he was talking about if you're an ally of the gay community, you got to stand in front of them, not behind them. And I was rolling on the inside. I was like, yo, Rico.
What the fuck I mean?
And then he kept doing that. Yeah, I'm an ally. I'm a full-throated ally of the gay community.
I kept saying stand behind them.
Princess K so petty because
I like, all
I hear now is booty butt cheeks, booty butt cheeks.
Right. And now I realize, I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize how that sounded. Yeah, that's different.
That's different. Too much. Yeah. That's funny.
I try to tell everybody, like, look, I'm not saying I'm promoting anybody's orientation. I just believe let people live their fucking life and leave people alone. Just like I want black people to be left the fuck alone and Asian people and everybody, leave people the fuck alone. Let them do whatever they want to do. If it ain't your cup of tea, it ain't your cup of tea. Quit tripping.
It's Rico coming out.
Listen, Rico, the Asians getting fucked up in New York, man.
I know, but I already know. I'm like, look, this is how I live my life. I live my life like this perspective. I've done enough shit for me to bust hell wide open. Ain't my place to be fucking with nobody else. And I think most people that are very critical of others.
See what I'm saying?
Oh God.
See what I'm saying?
I know
Full
enough
throated,
people.
stand behind them and bust it open. Like,
Bust head
Okay, fuck him.
wide
Fuck him.
open.
Fuck him. I knew where y'all going with this shit, right? AR, you ain't got. I don't get no help. Me and you together. Okay, I got a little white in me. Come on,
Hey, you said
Now
you
you-
want to go on Twitch. You need to be ready for this. This
Give me a
is
fucking
Twitch.
lifeline or something. You gonna let these two niggas fuck with me?
there we go again. There we go
Wait,
again.
first of all,
See,
this
I'm
is
JP,
who raised you ninjas.
We may are now.
JP, I'm not with Rico. See, you gotta love me again because that's Rico's by himself now. Fuck that.
That's
He
a
by
different
himself.
kind of crotchety. That's all. I love you both. I take you in waves.
Yeah,
Should have
you
known,
gotta be
should have
careful,
known when
man.
them fucking white Republicans would bail on my ass. I need a man. That's what I need. Fucking around with one of them damn white
He said the
Republicans.
CAC is high with this one.
Yep.
Ah,
I love my white folk, my good white folks, you know?
Now listen, I am going to skip. I think the next. I was going to skip ahead, but well, let me ask you this question. Okay, pop out. Let me see. Oops. What does the panel think about the black guy that was killed by his white girlfriend? His family's asking black women to march for him. Oh, I heard about the guy that was killed, but I didn't hear about people asking black women to march for him.
Well, I mean, like, I think that I don't know too much about the story, so I don't want to misspeak, but I believe that he was like he wasn't racist, but he didn't like black women or date. That was his listen, that wasn't his dating preference. His dating I don't think he spoke bad about black people. He spoke bad about what his dating preference are. There's some black men that just they only date Hispanics. There's some Hispanic women they only date black men. There's some white men that only date Latino or black women. So I think that if he was killed, I think it's important to stick up for people who were murdered, But I know that y'all won't stick up for him because a cop didn't kill him. But if a cop killed him, if his white girlfriend cop killed him, y'all will go crazy for that. So
Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I do believe they are supposed to be marching for him. Okay, well maybe they will. There's certain people, and I know I've internalized some. I grew up like all around like whatever. However, I don't even know what the culture in. However, I was cultured. I really don't have sympathy for black men that chooses a certain path, and then that path goes wrong. Like like when keeping it real goes wrong, when you choose a certain path and it doesn't go right for you, I don't have a lot of sympathy. So if anybody marches for him, I don't really care.
I mean, but man, is it because a white person killed them or just in general? You don't have no sympathy.
There's like if I went up and slapped a cop, right? If I went up and slapped a cop, and then he shot me, would you feel sorry for me?
How exactly does that have anything to do with this situation?
It's the same pathology for me. If you play with danger, but
what was danger? A white person? No, don't say that. Oh, come on, bro. So, you serious? So my Latino black girlfriend is dating a half white man, right? Is that dangerous if I do something to her?
It's only half dangerous, right?
Bro, but my brother's white. So my brother's white, he's dating a black woman. White. So you think white people are dangerous? All right, no, bro. I feel like I'm joining the Black Klan meeting.
You can join what you want, and again, I never said that out of my mouth. You made all that up because of my supposition. Now I said if a black man chooses a certain path, the outcomes are on him. Whatever they are.
The path is a white person, right?
And whatever happens, happens.
No.
Whatever happens.
No. Can I answer the question? Go ahead. Can I answer the question?
Including happiness, love and happiness. That's on him too.
I'll answer the question a little bit better for you, AR. I think Archon might be a little bit skewed. My issue is I think the only people that should not give a fuck about him unemphatically, without a question, should be black women. Black women should tell him go fuck himself. She could dig him up and kill a motherfucker again, and they shouldn't care. Black women should not give a fuck. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when he was alive, he was very detrimental to black women. I never heard any of his tweets or even his own family said it. His own family came out with a statement and said that they found the shit he said to be despicable. Despicable. His own family did. So black women need to tell him, fuck you, go to hell. You want that's what you because not because the fact that she killed him, but because of the shit that he said about black women while his ass was alive. So in other words, if I said fuck AR, fuck AR, fuck AR, fuck AR, fuck AR, fuck AR, he's a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit, and I end up dead, you ain't gonna give a fuck justifiably, and you shouldn't. And he did that to black women as a collective, as a whole. That's all I'm saying. Now, me, I think it's fucked up. She need to go to jail. I don't give a fuck about her. Let her go to jail. Yeah. But I fully understand black women not giving a shit. When I saw more about the story, I was like, well, a black woman. I'm like, I wouldn't give a fuck about his ass either. I mean, he said, do you know the things that he said about black women? He said some terrible things about black women. White women are better. I'm sick of all these black women in my government class. He sounded like some people I know. So you can't expect when you meet your demise, that very group that you disparage, to have any sympathy for.
I mean,
it's fair.
Two things can be true at the same time. You can think that he deserves justice and not be the ones running to go and make sure that he gets it.
No, I'm just saying that people, if he didn't get killed, black women shouldn't
still be talking that same stuff, but I'm not going to speak bad on his name in that way. What I will say is,
as the group that he disparaged has a right to not care.
Yes, that's it. As a black woman who fights for justice, period, right? Yeah, there's a line in the sand that's drawn. Well, that's energy that I could be putting towards making sure the children are taken care of. Other things that you didn't want my support, and you weren't willing to support when you were alive. Okay, but you have a community of your own that can fight your battle. The same way that I uplift all kinds of black folks' names in this space and in my community, that's me doing my part for the ones who came before me and the ones behind. His community can do the same for him. We don't owe him anything because he looks like us.
But he made the mistake because
he made that clear.
But he made the mistake because his community was black people, and unfortunately, when there's an injustice done, the people on the forefront are black women. So the very people that he would have been able to count on to fight for him is the very people he shitted on while he was alive. So they're not going to fight for him anymore. So, him and his family, they're GoFunding, they're asking for help, they're asking for this and they're asking for that. Black men we don't rally for shit. Knock it off. Knock it off. We rarely, we follow the leadership of black women, and that's a fact. If black women don't pick up the flag and start for injustice, mass incarceration, and so forth, black men rarely ever, we used to, pre-1960, there would be a black man purview. We turned it over to black women. So that very same constituency, you can't shit on and then expect them to fight for you.
I got a question. Can we even believe? I got an AR. You're gonna think I'm trolling when I ask this question. Do you even believe that the white woman killed him? Since 50% of the murders are committed by black people or black men, so there's a 50-50 chance it wasn't even the white woman.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I think she said she did though. I think she said she stabbed him. So it's not even a question. Did she kill him?
She
said it was self-defense. Yeah, I think she said it was self-defense. So I think this.
Well, that would make more sense.
She said it was self-defense. It was in a fight. She blacked out. It can't be explained. So on and so forth. So it's sketchy as fuck. And guess what? Her white ass went home. Surprise!
Well,
I bet you if she was black, her ass still be in jail. I bet you that.
Rico, so you said that he was saying some stuff about black women, basically,
yeah,
right?
He said a whole lot
advocate for them.
Okay. Yeah, he had a whole lot of shit about
so when you say FAR, what if you said in a good rap flow? What if you said that in a good rapping flow?
A rap flow is
words are words. Okay. I'm just asking.
No, but I'm saying no. Words are not words because an artistic expression
is
not the same.
Rico, come on. Okay, so we can allow white people. Expression.
No, I'm saying it's music. You can't bring music. That's what the other side always.
You can't bring music.
Because music, let's be honest about who really buys the quality of the music.
Y'all being hypocritical. We know, right? We know
that they don't say it in real life.
We know right now We know right now there's a huge amount of the youth that's doing this drill rap that's talking about people they actually shot. So the word do matter.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm gonna
You
give
can't ask a question.
I'm gonna give you.
I'm gonna answer the question.
No, I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna answer it honestly.
With the question.
Okay, let's take it.
I didn't finish with that.
Okay, but I'm gonna take it that yes. Okay, words matter. And then when they say fuck women, and I'm saying even in music, I'm going to accept that premise. The caveat is, do they say fuck black women or do they say fuck women and hoes?
Well, I mean, I think the woman that refers to is the same woman it's the same woman that's dancing in the videos. R. Kelly only slept with black young girls. I think they're referring to black people.
The disparagement, is it ever race specific? That's all I want to know. Since
absolutely, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What rap song do they say black women?
Well, I mean, they're not saying necessarily exactly black women. DMX, when he was talking about the bitches he fucked, he named all black women.
Talking about? Did he say
he named all black women? Keisha, right? That's a black woman. He named all black women.
Why is Keisha a black
woman? That's racist.
That's
racist. I know a black Katia. I mean a white Katia. I know a white Katia.
Thank you.
Back that ass up. Back that ass up from Juvenile was all black bitches in the video.
Did he say black women? Since you're being specific about the word, now I'm gonna do the same thing that you're doing. You're being specific about the language. I can't use the artistic expression argument. You can't use.
If a KKK member tweeted, if a KKK member came out and said, "Yo, let's go kill them all tonight," who do you think they're talking about?
I can think whatever I want.
You guys just sit there and say, "Oh no, they're not referring to us."
No, you talking about the KKK? Right. He could be talking about Jews. He could be talking about Asians. He could be talking about black people. He could be talking about gays. I don't know who he's talking about at that particular time, because KKK fucking hate a whole lot of people. So unless he says, I'm gonna kill all the fucking gays.
We're gonna pretend dumb like we don't know what the rappers.
Because you're pretending like, you don't know what artistic expression is, as opposed
artistic expression about bitches, black bitches and hoes.
You're pretending like they have control of the media in the first place. Who signs off on all of these lyrics? Who signs off on all of these videos? Who signs off on all these contracts? Let's talk about it though. Who actually put down the 360 deals, getting these kids to talk about themselves? No, we're still on the damn topic.
No,
because you're talking about these children telling their stories live. Someone is paying them to do so with 360
Not just
deals.
children, these grown ass men.
They're child minded. Okay, fine. Let's call a spade a spade, but let's be honest about the whole damn thing.
When
you like to use one side of the argument that works for you, and not the whole damn argument.
When Jay-Z was talking about selling crack in Marcy Projects, he never said black people. But we know Marcy Project was dedicated, the drugs were most likely being sold to black people. So what I'm saying is that guy was talking shit about black women, but black people in general do it to each other anyway. And majority of the music is damaging to our own people.
What's your point? People talk shit about people.
But JP, I think you stepped away. But what we was talking about was that regarding the guy that was talking about, I think he was talking bad about, not about black people. I think he was talking bad about black women as far as his dating preference.
Yes.
He was talking really bad about them.
Yes, he was talking bad about black. He said specifically black women.
Right, and that's what
I thought he was referring to his dating preference. But in music and songs, is being done the same way. Even as a matter of fact, it's being done even worse.
No, sir. There's an overlay that's happening there, and let's be honest about it. What's happening is they're putting up lyrics where say bitches, and then on top of that, they put black women of ranges from darkness to a certain level of light complectedness because it's okay to talk shit about them. So then your brain makes the correlation between the two, because every now and then that's what you hear in other spaces, or maybe in the community that you are in. So then together you make that cognitive connection. It's not about you have to understand how media actually works. Again, the dollars that fund this thing matter because these people can only write so much. Someone has to put it out there and make sure that it gets pumped every goddamn day. They're not doing that. By the way, let's talk about who's actually buying the media, because it's not us. You'll also go on to say at some point, we don't spend money on the right things. We don't spend money on music. You say it's on shoes. So who's spending money on the music? The little white kids. And that's the problem. Every talking point that you have is because it's affecting them and not just us anymore.
Right. I don't know why you're getting emotional and yelling, but we're speaking.
Honey, I'm not
we're
emotional.
speaking-
I'm telling the truth, and you don't like it because it's coming at you instead of you being able to talk around it this time. Let's be real and call it what it is.
Okay.
Because I'm feminine presenting does not mean that I'm emotional. I'm speaking truth, and sometimes you have to get into it and loud about it because people can't hear unless you meet them with the level of disrespect.
Okay, but hold
they
on.
understand.
Arshawn, go back to the Snoop Dogg concert. But when Snoop Dogg is talking about these bitches and hoes, you really think Snoop Dogg is talking about the white bitches and hoes?
No, I don't. But I'm just sitting there saying he doesn't say
So
black.
what I'm saying that
That's all I'm
black
saying.
guy
Doesn't
is
say
not
it.
the only. A lot of people. So we gotta. What I'm saying is that we can't just look at it. Okay, it's just lyrics, because we do know music is really influencing the youth. And right now, drill rap, especially in the Bronx, which is where I'm partially from, drill rap. These kids are doing crime, and they're speaking on it. It's so drill rap is so bad. The mayor is trying to ban drill rap from being made in the Bronx.
My question is this: if young Mr. His name is Chris or Toby, whatever, I can't remember. If he was so influenced by rap, why didn't he speak in the rap language? Because again, I have yet to find a rap artist that distinguishes black in their lyrics. We know who they're talking about without them saying it, so we could have known who the fuck he was talking about without him saying it. But he went out of his way in all of his disparaging posts to specifically say black women. And he wrote that shit. And that's his fucking downfall. So if you're going to write it and you're going to specifically put the word, he didn't have to put black in there. He could have said all these ghetto women. He could have said all these loud women. He could have used all other types of adjectives.
We're going to pretend like we don't know what most black artists...
He consistently put the word black, so you can't ask them to cry you a fucking river now that a fucking white woman killed you. That's all I'm saying.
I hear what y'all saying, but it's just this is the part where I'm having a disconnection. Like as AR, you said when the man spoke that we shouldn't take it personal because he's just speaking his preference, right?
No, I didn't say that.
No, you said anything about speaking his preference?
No, I didn't say don't take it personal.
Maybe,
no, what he said is really fucked. What he said is really fucked up. It's messed up. He should never have said it. But what I'm saying is that it is words, and I do believe in the rap. JP, yeah, drill rap is really affecting the youth because the drill. If you know about the drill rap, they're doing crime and they putting all that stuff into the music. Drill rap, I believe, really came from Chicago, but in the Bronx is huge. So they committing crimes just to rap about it. Like they're really living the lifestyle. They're purposely doing crime so they can talk about it, and people know that they're incriminating themselves. That's why Jay-Z and Meek Mill, I think Meek Mill is trying to stop music from being inside the court system, which I think they should use it against them. They commit all the crime. But so my main point really was just that not just black people, but people words are important, whether if it's written or if it's expressed. Talking bad about black women, regardless if he's a black man dating a black woman or a black man dating a black man, even in music, it shouldn't be done. But if y'all want to make excuses for it, say no, it's just expression. And if you don't write the word black on it, then fuck them hoes. Then I'm gonna say fuck them hoes too. Then I'm
not making excuses.
I'm
just going back to the position that if in fact you choose to disparage a particular community for whatever reason, you can't expect support from that same community from your fucking demise. You didn't give a fuck about that community in the first place. So why the fuck should black women be riding for something?
That's my point.
You didn't give a fuck about them in the first place. No. I'm not talking about rappers. We're talking about.
So what you're saying, the black women should not care about the rappers because they also disparage them? Is that the overall point you're trying to get to?
They shouldn't.
That is what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is I believe black women should put a more emphasis on that shouldn't happen regardless of whatever art form you want to put it in. You shouldn't be disrespecting us.
Exactly. Black women shouldn't ride for anybody that disrespects.
We're all on the same page. We're just on different levels, and we're all coming together.
Okay,
or maybe not JP, or
Who the hell are y'all to tell black women what the hell they should do, though? Wait a minute.
I'm saying
hold on, pause. Let me just say this for the damn record, and then y'all can go on with your day. But for a whole bunch of fellas up in here who always talking about what women shouldn't do in the damn space, how dare y'all sit around and tell black women what they're supposed to be doing right now? We live this experience every damn day. We've been bridges all over the damn place, making sure everybody got what they need, everybody good and taken care of. One time we say, you know what, kiss my ass, I'm gonna sit down for a moment, and you of all people, are going to tell us how we should move? Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
I agree with you ladies saying you're going to sit down and not do it. I really do. I think in any instance where black women are being disrespected, they should not ride for people that do it. If I disrespect black women, they should say, fuck me. I think anybody, I don't cotton or think it's okay for people to disrespect black women. I think it's been going on far too long. It's been excused for far too long. With the whole rappers doing it, I'm like, they're wrong too. They're wrong. I'm not going to sit there. I do think that we say, because and the only reason why I say that is because in other artistic forms of expression, whether it's film, whether it's rock, they also disparage women almost at the same level and all other kinds of shit. And it's always, and I only went with the whole thing, it's always been forgiven because the Supreme Court and our Constitution and our law said that freedom of speech. So even this guy, what's his name, Chris or Toby, he had the right to say what he had to say. He had every fucking right to say it. Nobody took away his right or his First Amendment right to say it. No one has to give a fuck that he ended up dead. And that's the consequence of it. So with rappers, I don't support rappers who put out messages that I don't condone or I approve of. I think other people shouldn't either. If you choose to still support it, go ahead. People are still bopping and rocking with R. Kelly. I just found out that I could live without his ass. I love this music, but I don't have to have it. I don't have to have Step in the Name of Love. That was my jam back then. As I gotten older and mature, and I realized everybody else would get to their own place and time in their own way when you decide, okay, I'm tired of the molestation of young black girls. That's going to matter and care to me. But I don't, the Michael Jackson thing, I'm a little bit more ambiguous on because I don't think that's an open and shut case. But I can live without fucking Michael Jackson. Not gonna kill me. But the R. Kelly, so when I didn't think of it, but when people put forth the argument, I'm like, you know what? That motherfucker did it. I think that the evidence is in on R. Kelly. So you know what? If I have to take him out my playlist, he just got to come out. So fucking what? I'm not going to sit here.
Let me pause you real quick, Rico. He's about to go for a minute.
No, go ahead.
All right. Good people. All right. I love y'all. And I invited y'all all because I love y'all. I need us to be a little bit more respectful. Going all the way back, all the way back to when AR was bothered by us asking the question. And he was like, y'all got me fucked up. Like, bringing it up to now because I thought maybe the energy had dissipated. But I know JP's about to address it because she had her hand up. Y'all shut the fuck up. Can we be a little bit more respectful when we're responding to someone in specific, even if we're making a general statement, because it comes across like a personal shot? Can we do that?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Go
ahead. You
Rico,
knew when you let niggas in, you knew how we was gonna act. But go ahead.
y'all rare for the day.
Don't make me put my stink mean on you,
man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, we do Princess K, and that's a shame too.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the community for sure. Yeah, still excited with that.
Come on,
I want to jump into this next one because this second chapter of the book was How We Missed the Mark. In this chapter of the book, he says that how we arrived at the then current conditions can only be understood by studying the forces that influenced the Negro after emancipation. So I want to know, is that true? Do we have to start?
Big word.
Am I muted?
Word. Oh, remember when we told you? Big word.
Come on, man. Come on. Emancipation.
I'm just telling you before you go
the
further.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Big word. Me and Arshawn, we know that's an inside joke. Go ahead, Arshawn.
It ain't okay no more. They got the whole Juneteenth. Everybody knows what the Emancipation Proclamation is now.
Go ahead, but Arshawn, big word.
Rico, I got you. Okay. Let me start over for Rico. All right. Carter Woodson says that how we got to now can only be looked at if you look at slavery, if you look at, man, forget you, Rico. Man. All right, look, I'm gonna just ask the question because Rico ain't gonna let me. Do we always have to start at slavery when we're looking at the conditions that we're going in? Do we always have to start at slavery? I know a lot of people have a problem with that. I can't stand Rico. You know.
No, we don't always, because I like the way JP did it earlier. She brought it at a more recent stage, even though it was in the past. No, we don't. But we can't just keep leaving it out because one, I think that personally, I think that that's by design. I think that part of the system of they want to push us past just even bringing it up. They don't want accountability for slavery. No one does. No one wants to be accountable. And the funny thing about it is the argument I always get is white people will say, well, I didn't do it. I wouldn't hear. And I'm like, motherfucker, we're not asking you to pay it. We're asking the government. And then the argument goes, well, it's going to come from the taxpayer money. I'm like, and every fucking thing else that the government does come from the taxpayer money that you have no say or choice or decision in making. So this is just one more program of thousands of others. And what I don't get is, like AR had said earlier, you know, when we talk about feeding people in other countries, I'm like, I don't hear people object to that. I don't. But the minute we say reparations, oh Lord, have fucking mercy. We just sent almost $1 billion to Ukraine. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that. That's good. That's good. But paying the motherfucking people that you fucked over here, oh, we can't do that. We can't. I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't had a motherfucking thing to do with Ukraine. But my tax dollars is going over there. My tax dollars is going over there. I ain't have nothing to do with Ukraine. I ain't got no folks over there. I ain't got no folks in Russia. None of that. But you know what? We all let the government do whatever the government says it needs to do with our tax dollars. We pay it, and they fucking decide what they're going to do with it. But the one thing for the very people here, oh no, we can't. No, that's a bridge too far. That's what I find incredulous. So again, no, we don't need to start with slavery. Absolutely not. But I ain't letting you motherfuckers off the hook. That's the bullshit. No, I just think it's a bullshit argument that you want to say. I always tell people when they go like, okay, like when I always talk about a full-throated authentic apology, and people be like, okay, so I smack you, Arshawn, and then I go, my bad. And you be like, Rico, you owe me an apology, and I go, my bad. It's like, motherfucker, that's not an apology. It was your bad when you did it. We know that. An apology or a request for forgiveness, some form in slavery, you know, some apologies require reparations. That's why Germany paid it to the Jews. That's why we paid it to the descendants of the Japanese internment camp. It wasn't enough to say we're sorry. We had to make economic restitution for the damage that we did. Slavery, I believe, requires the same. But America just don't want to do it in any form. Hell, have they ever apologized for slavery? I'm not even sure if they ever made.
I think something happened, but
and
they
it was
can't.
Probably in the last 10 years. It's probably in the last.
It was after Bill Clinton. I know it was after Bill Clinton. I can't remember exactly what. It was something said about it.
Made a symbolic admission
him and Obama
that it was fucking wrong.
It was something.
400 years to say my bad. My bad. The fuck you mean my bad? But that's what I'm getting at is that's part of the problem. So if it takes 400 years to get that, I ain't letting them off the hook. Fuck them. Go ahead, next person.
Yeah, I'm not sure JP is back. Go ahead, AR.
I believe that may you speak vulgar or keep it PG?
I mean,
I'm not going to use
the N-word. No, but I'm
saying, Tyrone out.
Well, the thing is that
Tyrone can come to the cookout.
I think that every chance that Black people had to receive reparations, not college paid for or not some sort of form of welfare government system, I'm talking about like actual deposits in your account, and also instructions of how business work. I believe every opportunity we had as a nation, as a whole, I think we kind of blew it over. And I do believe we're gonna have to wait another 20 years because the Hispanics came through. The Hispanics during the Biden, they showed up to the border, and I think the Hispanics have been quiet for the past 2 years. The past 2, I think 3 years actually, they've been really quiet, and they've been utilizing the information because there's a lot of American attorneys. I don't want to get in detail, but a lot of the American Hispanic attorneys are actually traveling over there to tell them the loopholes of the law. That's why they showed up with the Biden T-shirts, right?
That's smart.
Yeah, it's smart, but they're using up all the resources of the urban community because they're being dropped off. Yeah, you can say it.
No, real quick, it'd be like 5 seconds, but that's smart in group thinking. They're looking out for their group, but
yeah, no, I mean it's smart for them, but at the same time, the people who suffer the most, as far as I can see, is Black people are the ones going to suffer the most. So, Ice Cube tried to bring it over to Biden, Harris, but she never looked at it, and Donald Trump. I think we could have got more from Donald Trump, even if you don't like him, concerning with helping Black people. If we brought that to the forefront, I think Ice Cube could have started something. But so that's as far as that. But I think we need to kind of move off of slavery. We can use the slavery talking point to gain reparations. So I think if it's to gain something, then we should be screaming, hollering, and yelling like as if we just got fucking whipped in, like as if we're in slavery currently. We can do like that. But as far as to move forward, I think to move forward, we definitely can't be still speaking on slavery. If we're looking to gain something, then we definitely do have to do a lot more bitching, whining, we have to be fucking over exaggeration, not for additional holidays, not for a fucking, I think there's Harry $20 bill or Harriet something. Fuck all that. Where is my fucking money in my banking account? That's what we need to do a lot more turn up. That's what the protests of this whatever you want to call it with George Floyd. We should have been doing that shit nationwide for our reparations, and I guarantee you, we would have had that right now. But I think at this point, what else do you want white people to do?
Let me ask you a question though. So what?
Suck some dick? I mean, one second.
Rico, yeah. Let AR finish, and then I want JP to get in, and then you can do a follow up if you need.
Last thing I want to say is like, what else? What else you want white people to do? I mean, they apologize and so forth. I mean, if they suck Black people dick, I mean, is that going to make it better? If they give some head, is that still going to make it better? I mean,
I'll take one. I just fucking with you.
Hey, just to mess with you before JP
I just get my troll on.
Hey, you don't get to pick the gender, Rico. Go ahead, JP.
Oh, never mind. I pass. I'm good. I have no problem.
Keeping that short and simple, or are you going to expound on that?
I've already answered it. I mean,
I just want to make sure.
That, so no, we good.
I'm just asking. Now, Carter Woodson also goes on to say it will only benefit present and future generations to look at the history and not the defects as they appear today. Can a doctor, and this is an analogy, AR, can a doctor just look at the health of the patient as they are today to figure out the illness, or should the complete medical history be examined? Like, should we look at the Carfax also when we're trying to diagnose the problem with the vehicle? So should we examine history or just the problems as we see them today, AR?
If we're going to look at it like that, I'm going to answer your question, but if we're going to look at it like that, then I need reparation for my father. He needs to pay. If we're going to go all the way back to generations, well, let's start with the one that just came before. Why are we not forcing him to give me some reparations?
What's your father?
What do you mean?
I'm saying you said you need reparations for your father.
Well, what I'm saying is we keep on going to the slave thing. Forget the slavery from going all the way back. Why didn't I force in the few generations before us to start paying off if they're still alive?
Why does your father need reparations?
I'm not talking about my father need reparations. I'm talking about I need reparations.
Okay,
no,
but you
I said
that.
Why don't I get reparations from my father? Why that's not being forced? Yeah, from my father. But that's what I need. That's what I need to do. What was your question? Examine. Well, I mean, I think that when it comes to genetics, okay, when it comes to genetics, medical, you got to look at There's some things you can do today to prevent certain things, but of course you got to look at that. But you're talking about behavior issues. This thing that's happening today is not a medical issue. It's behavior issues. My father got his ass beat from his mom. I don't know about I didn't feel those ass whoopings from my father. So I definitely don't feel the 400 years ago when they got whooped. Now when it comes to behavior issues, everyone's looking like I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. But when it comes to behavior issues, that's something you got to look at what I'm doing currently, not from generations ago. Medically, yes, you got to look at the history. But what you're speaking on this case is behavior issues, the human behavior, not the mental or the the health behavior issues. So you ain't get me with that shit.
The human behavior of whom?
The human behavior of yourself.
Solo.
Yeah, everyone's kind of their own action.
Using the analogy, doctors don't take into consideration your work environment as a part of your personal history.
Neither do I.
Doctors do, though, and that's where you make the mistake.
But we're speaking. Okay, we're not talking about the mental and medical history. Arshawn's trying to mix up with slavery
do doctors take in mental as part of your medical history?
We're speaking on behavior issues.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. What is it exactly?
When it comes to behavior,
slavery.
When it comes to behavior issues, we're not looking at your past.
How did you come to behave this way? What defines how you came to behave a certain way, if not your past?
Due to
the things around you.
Due to the lack of proper habits.
How does one come to habits, sir?
Because you didn't create your new habits.
Where did you get the habits in the first place, sir?
No, the habit starting from today, right? So if I'm speaking to you right now, hey. Huh?
Your doctors don't start with your habits from right now. They understand your habits as they have been. When they check to see whether someone has diabetes, for instance, they check your HbA1c. They check across a timeline, not just a moment in time.
Yes.
It's the same. We're making the correlation to the analogy, sir. I'm sorry. I was having the conversation based on what was presented to me.
Yes. But when it comes to this, yes, if you're talking about the medical, yes, we gotta look at when it comes to internal body, yes, we gotta look at your history, right? And your generation, whatever the case will be. But now when it comes to what's happening today in America, with what's going on with blacks, this is behavior issues, not about your past. It's about most of the issues, the choices you make right now, like as of today, you choose not to go out and do this or sign up for this course or remain still and don't go out and hang out with those people. So the behavior issues, what I'm speaking on. Sean's trying to mix it up to try to trick me in there, but ain't working.
You singularly make that choice. It's not as though there are things keeping you from being able to do so, like the ability to afford certain things and so on and so forth. No, JP is not still at a brother. JP is just asking a question and answering it.
I didn't say nothing to you.
I was talking to Brother Clarence in the chat.
Oh.
Multitasking.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, real quick.
I apologize. I'm good.
Go ahead, Arshawn.
I want to point out, because Bree asked this question, and I guess I probably shouldn't even, because this was pushed back at AR, but JP gave pushback to AR. I see that you've divorced behavior from medical, and I get that. But because like JP was pushing back, I'm gonna go ahead and let Rico go. I'm gonna let that go.
Nah, you can push back on me.
Well, no. Let me ask you a question though, because before I lose my thought, is okay. So, and I don't disagree with you, but I just want to ask you a question. So, if we don't start at slavery, where should we start? That was the first question. If we don't start at slavery, where do we start?
Today.
Wait, real quick, Bree, you said you can unbind those maladaptive behaviors easily?
No, you can't.
Easily?
Let me finish. But everybody tell me. So we're supposed to. Wait a minute. That's a hard pill to swallow.
She never agrees with me. So that's
that's just a hard pill to swallow.
Now,
yeah. Thank you, Simon.
0.
Chapter 1,
0.
2020.
Zero.
Yeah, but let's say I was just wrong
No,
5
I
minutes
can't
ago,
even-
right?
I have no pushback for that because that just is
Let's say I was
utterly
wrong 5
fucking
minutes ago.
mind-blowing.
Let's just say I was wrong 5 minutes ago, right? And we're having this conversation. Okay, AR. Okay, you correct AR. I have the decision as long as I can recognize I'm wrong to move to do better.
Okay, but one simple reason.
Recognizing that you're wrong.
One simple
But
reason.
I'm not
why-
wrong though. I'm trying
one
to
simple
break it down in
reason-
simple terms so you can
But let me
understand.
explain. One simple reason why I find that train of thought so dangerous is that Black people are expected to act as if the existence of history began today and nothing preceding it matters. But no other fucking nationality, ethnicity, no other, just us. So we're supposed to be the ones walking around willfully blind and ignorant of history in totality and say, this is the way the world is. But every other fucking culture, custom, nationality, race in the world embraces back to thousands of years. Does that not just seem a little bit fucked up?
I mean, but you know, the thing about it is that there's
No, but you're saying
Hispanics.
we need to dismiss 400 years of history, but we have other races and ethnicities and nationalities and religions that trace their shit back thousands of years.
But
And they
use
hold
it-
on to it, they celebrate it,
Yes.
we celebrate it, and so on and so forth. But we can't even go back 400 years, but they can go back 1,000 years. Why? That's the one thing that
because
I
Black
always-
people are in a more fucked up situation.
But my
Black
whole
people
fucking
are
point
more
is-
fucked up than other
Then,
races.
then isn't
And
that
I
the
don't believe
reason?
learning
but
your history.
But
in-
isn't that the reason all the more why we should hold on to our history? And
Rico,
not discard it?
Rico, you was a fucking slave. There you go. There's your history. Your ancestors
No,
was
you
a
said
slave.
we shouldn't, and I
know,
asked
but
you.
let's
No,
start.
you said we shouldn't, and I thought you were going to give a more thoughtful answer. Like, okay, let's not go back to slavery, but let's go back to, Jim Crow, or let's go back to Reconstruction, or let's go back.
Okay,
to
let's go
other
back to
places.
slavery.
But you said
Rico,
fuck
your
everything.
ancestors. Okay, Rico, your ancestors were slaves. Okay, there's
No,
your
we can go
history.
back to we go back to Reconstruction. I can break it down from there.
Okay,
We
no,
go
but
back-
let's go back.
No, Rico, hold on, no, because he
Slavery.
just gave you slavery. Let's concede the point. Let's not double back.
How
He
that
just said
help
he
you?
gave
the
you
whole
slavery.
point was the whole point.
How that's
was-
gonna help you?
The whole point.
Nah, you was a
was,
fucking slave. How you gonna help you?
It's
you was a
not going to
slave.
help me.
So
It's
what
only
the
going
fuck
to
you
give me
want?
an understanding.
You
gonna
understand?
help
Okay,
me, like,
you understand it. How that
it's-
helping you?
An understanding helps me to know where I came from.
You
And
know
what
that
I
now.
came
What else?
from, the same as Judaism helps them to understand what they came from.
Every black
the same-
person in America know they were slaves.
Excuse me,
Okay, we
excuse me.
got that.
No,
What else?
every black person in America doesn't know they were slaves because every black person in America was not a slave.
No, every
It's what?
black person know that believes that other black
not
people
every black
in America
person.
was okay. Now that they know that, how they're gonna help
It's a
them?
generalization.
How is gonna help them?
Okay.
How is that
general-
gonna?
It doesn't help you in the fucking present.
So
But
what
you
you, know,
sit
what
there-
you need to know?
No,
for?
I tell you what. Let me tell you one way it will help you. The same reason that all historians say we remember our past unless we repeat it. That's what they tell us. All historians, whether it's about
Okay.
war, whether it's about I don't give a fuck what it's about. They tell us to never forget our history. Other cultures, do you tell Jewish people to forget the fucking Holocaust? Do you tell them that? Do you tell them that, AR? You know, goddamn well you don't, and you know why you better not.
You're in a better position than us.
No, I don't give a damn about their position. If they were in a worse position, they are not going to forget it. And you are not going to tell them that.
Okay. So
They have their
all right.
whole slogan,
He's
never
saying,
forget.
do we have to start from history to get better? You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you know your
Let me
ancestors
tell
were niggers. Okay,
Real,
how
real,
can we get
real
better?
real simple. As Americans, we can't fucking forget 911. We can't fucking forget 911. Why the fuck you don't tell them, look, that shit was 20 years ago. Let it go. Move the fuck on. The
Hey, let me
building is
interrupt
wrong.
this real quick.
And
Rico,
we
let me
don't.
interrupt this real
My aunt died in 9/11, so I'm never
I
gonna forget it.
forget
But
Okay,
how can that
then.
help me?
No, it doesn't help you, but the bottom line is you don't forget.
Yo, black
So
people,
why are you
we're
telling
having
us-
so many issues.
Hey, AR, pause for a second. Rico, pause for a second. I think I want to separate the difference because, like the examples that you're using, Rico, I really think like when you say Jewish people and 9/11, like we're talking about like America for 9/11, right? So Americans, the broad American term, right? Patriots, patriotism. And then Jewish people, like AR said, they're in a different social position in the power or social hierarchy. Because they're up, they don't want to forget the down position because they don't want to return there. We know what the price of losing vigilance cost us, and we can't forget. Well, we're not up. So we don't need to be vigilant because we're still down. Like, so we need to, there's another psychological dynamic that we need to embrace, because being vigilant of the trauma that we haven't escaped in our minds isn't really helpful. So we're hyper vigilant of something that may or may not be happening. We're not opportunity focused.
But one question, and my question is to you, Arshawn, not AR. So how does it hurt us to remain vigilant? So again, the opportunity that you guys are saying is that it's not helping us. Okay, fuck it, didn't have to help us. Then give me the argument how it hurts us.
I'll tell you. Actually, what we talked about, and I'll use a psychological principle. It's called nihilism, and that's what AR is talking about when he talks about drill rap.
And then by that same argument, you have to tell me if in fact us remaining vigilant hurts us, how does it not hurt the other group? Because that's what I'm saying.
I just told you that. I already answered that question.
Okay, I get it.
I answered that question first. Yeah, because they're already up. Okay. Yeah, they got out of the situation, whether it was through outside help or not. I'm not gonna say they did it by themselves, but I think a person that climbs up, they got help. Like, we know the Jewish people had aid from other countries that resettled and all that kind of stuff. So
they got a whole country
anybody that's up, United States, it came up. It had a lot of different things going on too.
You know what I'm saying? And from the French and other countries during the revolution.
There's been a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So if we were to come up 9 times out of 10, it would be really hard to do it both under a society that we're not fully a part of and integrated into,
or without a system.
But if we were to climb up and be on equal footing or competitive status, then we would have to remember, like, hey, remember where we were before. Like, remember where we come, because like people that come up say, hey, don't remember where you come, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget how you used to live. Not one, it's like a grounding. It's like an anchor. Like, I remember how I used to live, and I don't want to forget that and think I'm somebody different. Because like they and addicts, because I think you even brought up the treatment. You're always an addict, but it's like one day at a time. That's a continual effort type mindset. I'm always striving, like AR was talking about. Right now, today, I'm putting in the work to be different. So if I'm thinking about what happened then, I'm not thinking about what I need to do today. So I think I'm trying to bridge the two conversations.
So the argument, and I'll leave it at this, and I'll leave it alone. I just want to make sure that what I understand what you guys are saying is that you should only care about vigilance, or it should only matter about being vigilant if you separated yourself from the place of the past or despair. If you're still in that place, and I'm just asking again, I don't agree with it. I just want to make sure I understand what you guys are saying.
And again, what I'm talking about is a historical vigilance. What we need is a present vigilance. We need to know. We need a presence of mind about what's going on right now today.
I think right, and I agree. I think that it should be both. I just wanted to make sure I understood what you were saying. Yeah, and I accept that plan. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I know you won't. You won't, because you're entrenched, and I get it. But like, you also have to think, people who are in a lesser position, like if you're dealing with trauma, if you're dealing with poverty, like studies have shown that lowers your brain capacity. So what you're telling a person to do is both be vigilant of the history and the present, and survive from a minority position. That takes so much processing power to deal with the stress and trauma of your life from an impoverished, bottom low class position, and also stay focused on the history. That's too much to ask of anybody.
The biggest thing is the fear that I think, and I'll be honest with you, and I'll end it with that, is that I think that the powers that have put people in the lower position, or the position of despair, or whatever it may be, that's the very thing they want us to do.
It doesn't matter.
I get what you're saying. You can't say they don't, You saying it doesn't matter?
I'm not even saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying we don't have the mental resources to care about with so many things, and we have to what's that thing? Triage. We have to triage and get to the most pressing thing. And right now we have to stop the bleeding.
Right.
We don't have time to do the research because we're bleeding. If we don't patch up the wound, we're going to bleed out. So if we're not focused on the right now, the vigilance of right now, we're going to die on this table. And that's what we have to, a lot of this other stuff, we're like everybody keeps talking about distractions. Yeah, that's true, because you get a little loopy when you're bleeding out. The blood's not getting to your head. We don't have the like, if we were a body as a black people, we bled out so much that we're starting to get delirious. We're starting to lose consciousness. So that's where we are. And so we need to focus all our energy as much as possible if we want to remain a people, because there's all these factors that are playing us against us, Rico. We're already one of the lower populations. Latinos are passing us. We're all, because a lot of us are getting educated people in any economic or sociological, you have a lower production rate. Then you have the biological of whatever health factors are going on in the United States, whether it's the food, whether it's the water, whether it's the air. Men are not as fertile as they used to be. So we have so many things going against us that we're not even aware of. We cannot also be focused on something that may or may not happen. We got to worry about what is happening. So I mean, that's how I see that.
So we'll just accept the premise that, and the one premise that I can't let go, and I won't let go, and I get it. I definitely get everything that you're saying, and I agree with it. I think it's brilliant, but I will never agree with it simply because of the fact that, to me, what I think you guys do not hear that I hear is that, then to say all that is to say that, we just accept the injustice for whatever it is. I'm not saying.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm not saying. I think it's a pragmatic argument that you guys are making. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes pragmatic people will say you just gotta suck it up and accept the injustice to move forward. And there are those of us who are more passionate, and it's like, no, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere, and that's also a different side of the coin, is what I'm saying. So I get the pragmatic argument, move forward, but then I also get the argument that we also have to remember the people who will get left behind being pragmatic. Because every time someone's pragmatic, you don't take every fucking body. We know that. I hope they don't look like you or me. I'm trying to get on the train. Next question, sir.
But I want to say
before we close it out. AR, finish what you got to say to Rico. Rico, please don't respond, and I want to get JP in so we can close that topic and then check everybody's time.
Well, I believe what I want to say is that, Black people are not weak. I think that's what it, I think when you give another crowd of people or, the power, or just to want to emphasize so much on slavery, I don't believe Black people are weak enough to give other people, I will say, power over us, to keep on emphasizing on what has happened. Now, I think that, Rico, what I believe that should be done is not necessarily forget about the history. I think that just kind of put that a little bit temporarily in the back burner to fix some of the current issues that we're currently having. And I don't believe what happened in the past is necessarily the same exact issue that we're having currently today.
Gotcha. JP, did you have anything on this thought before we close this section out and move on? And then I want to check everybody's time, because I know Rico said he has some other stuff to do, and I don't want to check. That was a no or yes?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right. Marcus, thank you for coming out. Big Rig slaps. I'm sure I missed a few other people. Quantum Love, definitely. I believe I missed shouting you out, but definitely thank you for being here, everybody. The next section, though, the next chapter, I might have skipped a chapter because he had more chapters than I thought. But how we drifted away from the truth. Whitson states that many who want to help Black people are more concerned with social uplift than education, transformation, but not development. The systems that reinforce a latent sense of anti-Blackness at worst, or at best a Black apathy, as we are largely overlooked as contributors in the educational system. Science, language, geography, literature, fine arts, medical school, history. Our contributions are largely neglected and often given a poor representation. even putting black people in charge of some of this same curriculum, like Rico talked about. Even if you put a black face in front of it, it's just putting a black face on another problem. Like I say, like Obama, putting a black face on a system that has a specific agenda. If you are conditioned into feelings of racial hierarchy, should we condemn those who buy in to that system, knowing that their livelihood is dependent upon that very same system? Why should we want to ask them to bite the hand that feeds them? And the question was, should we condemn those that, quote unquote, sell out when a lot of us do? JP, you want to go first, please?
I think we need to define the term selling out. I don't think I heard it in there. As the generations have moved along, sellout has a different meaning. I understand a sellout to be someone who sold out their race, yet others may understand that a different way. So I just want to clarify.
Real quick, AR has a show in a few, so I want to let him answer as he understands it, and then drop off, say whatever you got to say, and then peace you out, brother.
Okay, I appreciate that. Should we condemn those that sell out? No, I don't think, because I believe most of us sell out on a daily basis. But no, I don't think we have to actually do better. I don't think that we necessarily even have the time to worry about the people who are not worried about us. As long as they're not intentionally or doing a lot of effort to, I guess you could say, like, black people doing things intentionally to stop us from moving forward, which I believe that black people have done that with Ice Cube, trying to go to both sides to create something where black people could receive some sort of reparations, financial reparations. Then those are the people that probably need to be held a little bit accountable. But at this point, since that passed, I don't think we have the time to worry about who's not on the same side of us, even though they look like us.
All right, man.
Did I answer that, or?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, whatever your answer is your answer, and we gotta let it stand. You said you had to drop out.
Yeah, but I'm saying, did my answer stick with the question, or?
Yeah, that was a good white man answer.
But are you live streaming, or you're not live?
No, I'm going live. You're
going live? All right, so shout out to your channel. I'll try to find a link real quick and drop it in the chat, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna
come over and fuck with you, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, man, but yeah, it's gonna be channels, him versus her solutions, where we, men and women, or just people come together, discuss, talk about problems, and try to also come up with some solutions, and then figure out how we can actually not just be online, but also figure out how we can actually implement it and actually do something, which is extremely difficult. But I think it starts from the conversation, so that's what we try to do, And
that cable company still looking for your ass.
Time here, man.
Say it again, Rico.
That cable company still looking for your ass. They want their money.
But Rico, I do think that's a whole new stream as far as buying land or home from another country.
Yeah.
For retirement. I think that's something we, and every summer you can visit there to fix it up and stuff. I think that's
and look, I'll be happy if you want to. We can set aside some time. Get my details from Marshawn. I'd be happy to come over there on your stream and talk about that particular topic, because that's something that I'm very well versed on, and I definitely think that that's something that need to be pushed in our community and other communities as well, because the world is becoming more global. So it's not too many people are too focused on just America. There's some better fucking and our neighbors, even Mexico. People shit on Mexico. I'm like, Mexico has some fucking diamonds. Some wonderful. I have friends who have homes built in every area of Mexico is not run by the fucking cartels. Actually, a very small percentage of it is, but it's just treated that way. I mean, it's perpetuated that way. But large, 80% of Mexico is safe as can be, and a lot of white people, black people, Asian people. have homes there that you can get your dollar goes 5 times as far.
And they don't even speak Spanish.
They speak Spanish and English.
No, what I'm saying, the people that's going over there, some of them that's going
Oh yeah,
over
they don't.
there, they don't
No,
even
they
speak
don't.
Spanish. So
No, nope. But I mean, they're over there. Healthcare is better over there simply because it's more affordable. They have U.S. trained doctors. It's better living because of the environment. Because like I said, we're over. We got too many factories. They don't have as many factories as we do because they're not as industrialized. They're better as far as the weather. People over there tend to walk more. So when you go to those countries, like in America, where we always jump our fat ass in a car to go across the street, they walk everywhere. So you'll pick up, you love the word habits. You will pick up a lot of healthy habits, whether it's in Mexico, DR, Panama, Africa, because people don't have the same habits that we have in America. So you will break a lot, or the Western world. I'm going to say the Western world, period. You will break a lot of those habits and end up healthier, especially as you age. And I think that's very important, and we need to look at that. So if you want to talk about it, I'd be happy to. If not, okay, Brad.
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, like, if you're available tomorrow, I'll hit Arshawn up and get your phone number.
I ain't say it tomorrow, damn it. I said reach out to me.
If Arshawn tell you, never tell me you want to do something. Can I say, okay, well, let's try 11 o'clock.
That's a fucking Brad. That's a Brad. He gonna get you on the spot for the next day.
Because I don't know when you're gonna curse me out again. You know,
Tyrone would have said next month, right?
But you're always gonna hear me talk about behavior because that's what I major in, behavior issues. You know, studying the behavior issues and so forth. Mm-hmm. But fuck you, Arshawn. Fuck you, Rico. Goodbye, JP. Have a blessed day, evening. All right.
Okay.
See
you.
There you go. Crazy. All right, JP. Before AR was trying to exit, you were asking for to figure out exactly what sellout meant, and I know it has a lot of different meanings to a lot of different people. But for what I was trying to use it, what he was talking about was the people essentially that buy into the system, and where they attempt, again, the spook who sat by the door mentality, where you think you're going to get in and change the system from the inside, but you just become a part of the system. You're just absorbed into it.
Yeah. I think you can.
Okay.
Yeah, because and more importantly, the ones who have been educated today know, right? And then you would go ahead and sell out, so to speak. Yeah, you should be condemned, called to the carpet, made to be held accountable for the choices that you made. And then after that, the community can make a decision on whether or not they're willing to take your apology and allow you to then provide, what's it called, fruits of repentance. But first, you got to be able to make it make sense. Why you being a sellout today doesn't mean you're gonna sell out when the coons come. I mean, when the folks come a knocking.
You know what I think though. When I read the question, and it's kind of funny because I always say that people's words and actions is their condemnation, not outsiders. So we as a community, we can't condemn a sellout. But my thing with when it comes to sellouts, obviously there are people supposedly of your tribe, and basically they take the opinion of the oppressor or your opponent against the tribe. That's basically the definition of a sellout. Someone who will take the position of the opponent of the tribe against the tribe. So it's not like, I'll take the position of an opponent against a third party. I'm going to specifically take it against the tribe. That's what we consider a sellout. The reason why I do think the condemnation comes in, because in most cases, probably the vast majority of the cases, the very sellout, Clarence, he didn't. Okay, I'm drinking as early. I just started. The vast majority of sellouts tend to be proven wrong in the long run. So what happens is, a sellout will sell his tribe out, and then what happens is, well, I always tell people like this, like, and I'm just gonna couch it in black people, and I always tell them is like, look, nigga, when you stop telling on all of us, guess what? They don't need you no more. So you just the last one to go, but your ass is going. When they decide that they want us all gone, they're gonna use you to inside get rid of all of us, and then when they get rid of all of us, well, I don't need you, Arshawn. You be like, but Rico, I got rid of it. Okay, and now I don't need you. Now you can go. So that's the problem with the sellout. So when we talk about the things like, who was it, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, and so on and so forth, and a lot of these stories where we picked up the nomenclature of calling people Uncle Toms and Coons and so on and so forth, it was specifically about people. And I remember a story a guy told me, said, like, even if you go all the way back to slavery, where everybody doesn't want to talk about, and I believe it to be true, there's no historical evidence, but they said that you better believe when they was putting us on them slave ships, there was a slave on that ship that was counting, that said, boss, you missing one. It was a slave that was hiding in the bushes, and that motherfucker told. That was our first sellout. Before we left the motherland, there was a slave that was telling our captors, you ain't got us all, boss. You missing one. Go over there and look in that bush. Because they can't see, they can't see their own well-being in another. So should they be condemned? Their condemnation, as I always say, will come from their own words, deeds, and actions. Well, hell yeah. I just don't fuck with sellouts. I don't spend a whole lot of time trying to condemn them. But when I see certain, especially in these YouTube streets, certain people who look like us, that speak and say and act in a certain way, I ain't fucking with them, and they better stay away from me. Because I don't tolerate fools likely, because it's a bad thing, and they can be dangerous. They can sell out to the point that they will cause harm to members of the tribe. I'm done.
I definitely hear you. I have a hard time wanting to condemn the people that we see as selling out, because I get the temptation. I understand the pressure. Like, I understand wanting to be accepted. I understand all of that. So it's hard for me to want to condemn them. I just know they would have more use. Like somebody brought up, I think it was AR brought up the lawyers, the Latino lawyers going down to the border to help them get through the system. I wish we helped our other people, like JP was talking about the AR talked about behaviors, and JP was like, well, where do you learn these good habits? Where do you adopt these good behaviors? I wish somebody came back to tell us the behaviors to adopt to succeed. But a lot of times we're left at our proverbial border to
But you're missing the point. A sellout isn't someone who ingratiates themselves to another community to become successful. It's the fact that they do something detrimental to their own tribe. Whether they speak, a sellout. Definition of a sellout is if you speak detrimental of your own tribe, or if you do something disparaging. I don't classify a sellout as, okay, you go to another community and you become successful. I classify when we talk about the term Uncle Tom, and again, or the old plantation man, is the ones who are pointing out that Negro or this person. So that's how they rise. They rise through the failure of the loss of others. And those are the ones that need to be condemned. Now, again, it may be two different classifications. So you may be correct. Exactly. It may be two different classifications. So
they're just getting used. They're just getting used synonymously now. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you let me get this point out, the two terms that started to become used synonymously. The Uncle Tom was like you were talking about, but a sellout, like even how the words like tell you, is somebody that sold out. Like there was a price that they were bought for. So somebody from another group that had the resources paid them to do something that wasn't to the Black community's benefit. And so selling out could come in many forms, including harming Black people, but it could also be like the people who took jobs over You know, like, oh, I got a good government paying job, and then you're not doing the stuff in the Black community. Like, there's different forms of selling out, but I don't see it as a bad thing necessarily. It just harms the group because we're losing brain talent. You know, we don't have that physical capital. Like, there are a lot of things that the community loses when somebody goes and takes their resources outside for whatever the motivation.
I'll tell you one that's personal to me, and it's funny because, and now I get a little bit more on what you're saying, and you are accurate about that, and just sort of like slipped my mind. Is the fact of, say, for example, Black men or Black women in interracial relationships. People will automatically assume that that's a sellout. You left the
community. What, Rico?
Okay,
what?
I said. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I can be transparent and I can be honest, right? And I can see how people see that perspective. And in particular, I've always seen that perspective from Black women because they sat there and they believe, and there's some truth to it, that there's a finite number of Black men that are available to Black women and so on and so forth. So it's more crucial that, you know, we intraracially marry and so on and so forth. For full transparency, I did the shit twice. Okay? So don't act like all of a sudden I woke up today and I ain't like Black women. I'm like, no, I did it twice. Married them, had kids with them, gave them my name, 20, 30 years of my life. Okay? So knock it the fuck off. But this last time I just didn't. It's just the way it went. So, and I get the marriage argument. I still don't think that I would tell anybody that they have to, but whatever. So I do get that, and the fact of the matter that in spite of all of my, and I always tell everybody, I'm not pro-Black. I'm against anti-Blackness. They're two distinctly different things. Pro-Black, from my perspective, is you want everything to be blackity, 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 black. I don't believe everybody should be Black. Everybody's supposed to be. I'm against anti-Blackness, is which my stance is. I'm against anybody shitting on Black people, period. Meaning being discriminatory, defamatory, disparaging against anything Black. I believe that Black is equal to or better than everything else. I don't believe it's better than everything else, but I believe it's equal to everything else. Flat out, full stop, and I will believe that until the day I die. I will fucking die on that hill. I will fight for it. So they're two different things, but I don't think everybody should be Black and everybody should be like, oh, Black, 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 Black. I just don't think that way. But what I'm saying is, I do know how, even though I'm for my people, how my marital choice the third time, and somebody asked me the other night, like, oh, so if you get married again, I think it was my wife that asked me that, right? It was funny thing about yesterday. She literally asked me that. And she said, so if you get married again, you're going to marry a Latino. I was like, hell no, that's not a guarantee. No. I said, what the hell made you think that? I don't know who she was talking to. And I really didn't care. But I was like, look, I plan on you being the last one. But if your ass ain't, it's going to be whoever the fuck make me happy. Full stop. And it was just like a past. I think she was talking to her girlfriend. I was like, and I don't know why it came up, because her girlfriend sister married a Black guy, got Black kids. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. But I was like, I didn't marry your ass because you was Latino. We had nothing to do with it. I married you because you put up with me. I was a difficult drink of water. There was a lot of other people I was dating that I was looking at that wasn't gonna put up with my ass.
A drink of water or a drink of gin? That's fire water, man. That's fire water.
It just was like I was a difficult drink of water. So I was like, I loved you because you loved me in spite of all my flaws. It had nothing to do with, this. I said, but the fact of the matter is, I know that in spite of that, people will still look at me as a sellout. Like, they're going to say, fuck the first marriage, fuck the second marriage. They're going to say, fuck all my unambiguously Black children. They're going to say, well, you didn't do it the third time. And I've had people call it the question why I've been on their fucking neck. But it's like, fuck y'all. I'm sick of this shit. Because I've been in these streets doing this shit. And that's why I say with the whole sellout description, I always looked at, I will never, in spite of who I'm married to, motherfucker, you gonna search long and far before you see me shitting on a Black woman. It don't exist nowhere. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've had my heart broken by a whole lot of black women. My ex-wives, both of them. But that don't give me. I look at it like this: what my ex-wife did to me, that's what her ass did. I didn't look at her as a black woman. I looked at her as that motherfucker. She did this, not black women. So I don't get why people. That doesn't mean if the current one pisses me off, and she does regularly. I don't get mad at all Latina women. That's her crazy ass. I look at it as the individual and the whole concept. When people, I'll tell you the guy Chaotic, who just constantly shits on black people as a monolith, it offends me. I'm like, because I've heard people, oh, black man. I'm like, no, me, my son, none of my friends, Arshawn, none of us do this stuff. Stop. Okay, man, Big Red clap. Cold chicken sandwich. There you go.
Yeah, cold chicken sandwich, man. Yeah, and speaking of sandwiches.
If you don't, hey, don't even.
Speaking of sandwiches.
You want one? What time you want your plate ready?
JP, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it.
You know what? As soon as I get my weight up.
Because of what you said. Because what you said, though, I would have to try it. Because if you shame me, you shamed me into having to try.
Sometimes you have to condemn someone in order for them to understand.
Who eats cold chicken?
Right? This ain't even cold chicken. Cold
I
chicken
will eat cold chicken. That's the least of my problems. After JP pointed that out.
Oh, son, is it chicken salad or is it chicken?
No, it's just, all I'm saying is JP pointed out that us men will eat a lot of different things, and I'm up here talking about putting peanut butter on a sandwich. I was like, you know what? You're right. That's crazy. I mean, we were making a fuss. We were making a big old fuss.
We eat a lot of things. We eat a lot of things like what?
Like a whole eggplant, but you won't put an avocado in your mouth. That's shout out to the women over there giggling right now.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Okay, let me put it a different. Let me put it the way that it's listed on my.
That I can understand.
You know what, Rico? You can pull up tonight and we can have a conversation about it. But anyway, it says specifically, what is? You'll eat. I can use the word.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, you'll eat a whole ass pussy, but you won't eat it. I'm sorry. You'll put a. What was it? Dang it!
Okay, I
can't remember.
Yeah, you'll put a whole pussy in your mouth, but you won't eat a peanut butter and egg sandwich. Come on now, man. You gotta be willing to try new things.
Butter and egg.
See?
I eat the other one.
See? No. See? This is the thing, because they're talking shit about the sandwich. And I'm just like, try it. Daniel loves the damn sandwiches.
He still said peanut butter and eggs.
I got video. As soon as I get my weight up and I can buy new equipment to share, I will show you.
When you say, now I love peanut butter. Okay, so when you say peanut butter and eggs, do you mean you boil the eggs?
Hey, hold on, wait a minute. I'm sorry, just a second.
I'm asking
you know what, Big Green? You come to my sandwich tonight so I can put my elbow in your face for that comment right there. That one. You think that I went in on AR? You wait till I see you tonight talking about fuck that sandwich. I got you in that sandwich. I will pull up in that bad boy. You wait till the next car show up in this beef.
JR, let me ask you seriously.
Man, he don't call me JR now. He all up in
I mean JP, yes. I'm sorry. I'm in my gin now. I'm halfway. I'm at the last corner of the bottle. But let me ask you a question, right? At least I ain't call you the JP, the aspiring monarch. Okay? You know that inside joke, right? I was like, if he don't stop with that monarch shit.
I'm telling you, man, I have not asked for any of these titles. I am just JP, the aspiring. That's it. Go ahead.
Listen, JP, because I want to know about that sandwich. I've heard you mention that sandwich several times. Yes. So now tell me about your culinary skill. You said peanut butter. Okay, so I'm assuming you're talking boiled eggs, not scrambled eggs.
No, I'm talking about a sunny side up egg.
You talking about what?
A sunny side up egg. So listen,
here's the deal. All right. Okay, I know what a sunny side look like. Okay. And then you put it on bread. Is the bread toasted?
You got a toasted bread of your choice, like a bagel or an English muffin, right? Okay. We're gonna build the sandwich.
I'm trying to visualize the sandwich.
We're gonna build the sandwich, okay?
Okay.
So let's say you got an English muffin. So you got a toasted English muffin, okay? On the bottom of the English muffin.
Let's do a bagel.
A bagel.
The English muffin got all the fucking holes and.
Well, anyway. Okay, so you got a bagel, right? And then you got a
English muffin. Let me ask you that.
Either I do it with anything for the most part. Okay. But just let me make the sandwich. Okay. So we got a bagel and we're gonna put a smear of peanut butter on the bottom.
Are you
Okay.
toasting it or not first?
Yes, it's
'Cause
toasted.
toast
I
matters.
apologize.
All right, so you
It's
put in the
toasted,
toast, you toast it, then
and
you put
you
the
can
peanut
put
butter.
butter on the bottom on the sides.
Okay.
Okay.
All
It's
right.
also a good place to put your can of butter if that's what you do on one of the sides. Okay.
Put the what?
And then your can of
What
butter,
butter?
medicated marijuana butter.
Oh, okay. Stop throwing that shit in regular people. I don't do the medicated. You threw me off when you said that.
Okay,
Go ahead.
fine. Okay. So bagel bottom, butter, toast, and then put butter, and then put a smear of peanut butter.
Peanut
All right. And then
Okay.
I put down the tomatoes so that they will stay on the bottom of the
You put
sandwich.
tomatoes on it?
I do. Could you just hold on for a second, please? And then
Well,
hi. And then you add your lettuce and whatever protein you're gonna do. So if it's just gonna be an egg sandwich, then a sunny side up egg, and then some type of citrus vinaigrette with herbs and spice and seasonings in it. And then you can put your lettuce on top if you didn't put it on the bottom. And then that's it. When you squeeze it together and then bite into it, it all makes one flavor, and then all of the juices run down. You mix that, that's a different flavor. It's just like peanut butter is a binding agent.
so this is peanut butter. Mari, you like sunny side eggs? No. You call them over easy.
You can do over easy.
Is sunny side, right? Don't
it's
you
just,
eat
yeah,
over
it's just
easy?
turned over.
Over
that
medium,
one right
same
there,
thing.
Rashawn, the one in the middle.
Right.
You see
That's
it?
why I always know.
Can you see that, Rico?
Huh?
That's the sandwich right
Can you
there.
see the screen?
I don't see no peanut butter.
It's on the bottom. It's smeared on the bottom of the sandwich, on the bun.
That
I mean,
look
on the
like
biscuit
chicken.
in that case. I did. I put
That
a
look
fried
like
pork
chicken.
chop on that one.
Okay, so where's the peanut butter?
On the bottom.
Big Rig, look at Big
And
Rig.
it's also in the dressing. In that one, it's also in the dressing.
Big Rig, you a piece of work.
What do you say?
When I'm looking at it, it actually looks. I mean, almost. It almost
Delicious.
looks good. It's the
wanna
when you say
JP,
the ingredients.
No, let me pull full stop. Okay, I don't do over medium, over easy. I don't do any of that. I do scramble with cheese. I need my cholesterol high as a motherfucker. Okay, I'm black.
Okay, you can do scramble.
Okay,
I would say avoid the
With
cheese, but you can certainly do scramble.
with cheese and a lot of butter.
That's gonna change the flavor profile a bit because of the
Change
dairy
everything.
in there. Yet, maybe try Parmesan cheese or feta instead of some type of yellow cheese, hard cheese.
No. And then I like it with the pork chop or the chicken. I ain't feeling it with no peanut butter. That's crazy.
The peanut butter is just another way to make sure that you're getting in your protein, your fat, and your caloric intake. This started out as a conversation between me and Mimsy Limbs about being able to get in more calories because some of us need to get our weight up. And also, though, understanding children, and no offense, men, food has to look appealing. You guys are visual. So if it looks yummy, then you're all in for it. And if we smear something in there, it's like hummus. What Kawhi said, but Kawhi, what you have to understand is that your hummus has tahini paste in it. So it's got sesame seed paste, which is nothing but a nut butter or seed butter anyway. Same thing. It's just protein in a different form. And the more forms you can get it in one sitting, because of the way that we are as people, the better off we are. We don't eat on schedule. We don't eat in the way that we should. So if we're combining those things as much as possible and making food attractive, then it'll be and interactive, we're more likely to eat the entire meal. And that's the point, to eat an entire healthy meal.
Yeah, Rico must have ginned his way off the stream. But while I have you, I'm going to jump ahead.
Rico off. Shut up.
That sandwich.
Rico was trying to make the sandwich. I'm with Rico. It's y'all that I'm bothered by. Hey, Big Rick, while you talking that smack, where the hell is your damn cheese sauce at? Talking all that stuff. Go ahead though.
But I'm gonna spin it in your favor, JP. That sandwich looks so good. He ran off to have his wife try to make it. That's what he did. That's what he did. But I'm gonna ask these last couple of questions. I'm just trying to figure out which ones I want to ask because I didn't get to. I think I only got through about half because we were taking longer on those questions than I expected. Honestly, I love my boy AR. I did not expect for us to go that path that we did early. I know I did not expect it to go that far left, but woo! And then
Yeah, I will apologize to you if I offended you, or your platform with the shut the fuck up. Then I apologize. On my channel, I've already said it to black women, and so I'm just like, you know what, you fellas can get what you do.
I hit the wrong damn button.
that sandwich,
Welcome
it was that
back,
sandwich,
Papa.
man. It was that
I know,
sandwich.
right? That sandwich. Damn, that damn peanut butter and popcorn sandwich. Big Rig slaps is right.
Hey,
Peanut
see
butter
now
and
you know ceviche. They put popcorn in ceviches. I bet you'll eat that though, won't you?
Nah, I don't like ceviche. I don't like ceviche. Ceviche is the that's the raw fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I don't fuck with sushi either. No, I don't eat no sushi.
Well, that might explain why you. Never mind. Go ahead.
Look, and I like it. Look, and just to piss you off, I like my steak well done. Now look at your face. Look at your face.
You are such a typical Negro. Is what you are. Yes, you are.
Give me
You
my
are straight.
shoe leather.
Oh Lord, have mercy! You
All
be
my
out there on the grill poking the hell out the barbecue, don't you?
It's
By the
still
time it's done,
bleeding.
ain't no juice in it, but it's just all kinds of funky looking and
And guess what? I don't eat ribs. I ain't fucking with y'all either. I don't eat ribs.
Go. I'm pulling your black card, and well, I don't know whether to
I
give it or take it back or just bunch it up and toss
I don't
it.
want no ribs. Fuck your soul food. Now the sides
Oh,
I
this
love
guy.
the sides, but I don't fuck with the pigs. I don't fuck with the feets, the
Okay.
shitlins.
Okay.
I'm with Big Rig. Give me some goddamn ramen.
You know what, Brother Clarence? Don't be over here talking smack because we ain't at your house. Because we ain't at your house, you gonna let your hair down? Go ahead. I see how you are. Let's talk about that Jerry Curl while you over talking that mess.
Hey, Big Rigs, I'm with you. My fucking shrimp gotta be deep fried. Fuck that
talking shit to people on the internet. My bad.
I don't want none of that. I need my shit cooked. Don't tell me it's cooked and it's uncooked.
It is cooked. It's called denaturing the protein.
Nah.
Come on, I'll turn the camera on so you can put it.
You know what it is I got a queasy stomach. So I think so mentally. Anything that seems there you go, Big Rigs. Well done on my steak. Most of the time, all the time.
No. Medium well. Come on. You know y'all don't eat all the steak, and then you take it home and you put it in the microwave because you don't know how to reheat anything properly. So then you just turn it into shoe leather on top of shoe leather. No. We work hard as culinarians to make sure that your food comes out right and ready for you to be able to read.
And I cut that steak and I see pink, we start the motherfucking fight. She trying to kill me. She trying to kill me, trying to poison me. Give me fucking raw meat. Nope.
Oh, yo.
I don't play that shit. I don't play it. You know what that is, JP? That's CAC. CAC like that. CAC like that pink meat, right? Right, Asha?
Oh, hey, that prime rib.
That's slow roasted right there. That's something different. That's cooked.
That's steak tartare. That's steak tartare
right there.
There you go.
You know what? I want to see if I can look into some of our cultures and whether or not we do it.
No. Hell no.
Whatever. I don't know yet. Y'all, I'm mad at y'all.
All right, let me ask you this last question.
It's great, Brother Clarence. Okay. All the smoke for everybody. Go ahead, though.
I wanted to ask two questions because you were talking about food, and he talks a lot about in the educational process, we're not learning how to make a living. We're learning how to work for other people to earn a living. So we're not learning how to do things like agriculture, or if we go to school, we'll learn to do business administration for somebody who's actually doing the making of the living. You know what I'm saying? So we're like somebody that maybe does hair, comes out of school, but they still might do hair, but they're not learning things like chemistry to make their own hair products or things like that. So I'm gonna ask two questions instead of one. Should we focus more in agriculture, farming, and industrial vocations as well as STEM than we are currently now? Because right now I know a lot of people are shifting from wanting people to go to university and get a business degree. But are we still not focused enough on the right fields?
What's the other question you want to ask? You said you want to ask two.
The other question, is there a better educational system or structure that you know of that would teach us means and mode to make a living and not have to work for it? So, I mean, they're related, but, you know, right now, are we shifting? Should we focus more in certain industries as Black people, and our children, sending children to school, should they be focused in a more specific areas? And then, is there a system outside of the one we're currently in? Because I know even Bree talked about it when we're talking about the selling out. We send our kids to these public schools. Is there another way? What's another path? Because we talked about you can't change your behavior if you don't know another behavior to change it to. What's another way other than like the university systems and structures that we're used to?
All right, let me try to tackle it. I think we can reorient towards agricultural philosophy if, in fact, but you have to understand people who remain or who were in the agricultural industry, i.e., we're talking about fucking farmers. They didn't stay in those industries for the bag. You know what I'm saying? These were traditional jobs. These were jobs that they knew it was honest, hard work. You can make a living to support a family. You weren't going to get wealthy, but they weren't looking to get rich. They were looking to be able to support a family. I want to start a family. I want to be able to support that family. And if that's what you want to do, I think that is a very admirable position. It's a good position. It's a position that we will continue to need. We don't have enough family farmers as we used to have. But by the same token is, you know, we got the big farmers, i.e. Monsanto. We got the Monsanto and all the other big ag companies. So in America, family farms, even white family farms are decreasing infinitely because they're just going out of business. They're losing business not to other ethnicities. They're losing businesses to big ag. That's a huge thing in the Midwest. If you're from the Midwest, Monsanto and all the big ag companies, they are fucking killing the small farmers. So I think, you know, and we just recently had the U.S. government acknowledge they need to give $1 billion loans to Black family farmers, which is why Black family farms dropped precipitously by 90%, not because Black people stopped wanting to be farmers, but because of the fact that Black farmers couldn't get loans when white farmers were able to get loans to stay in business. Remember, racism don't exist. That's a figment of our imagination. All that shit's made up. But these are things that happen to depreciate and diminish and eliminate Black wealth in this country when at one point, we were predominantly farmers because that was the one thing we could do because the businesses weren't hiring us in the city. So that killed that. When you flip it into the education system, it goes back to what I said earlier when we said, oh, okay, we don't have people that look like us live in our neighborhood. I'm like, okay, so what if we did? They're still going to teach the same education that's being taught today. The problem is because of, I think, the lack of discrimination that too many other Black people think that they can survive. I don't think get ahead. They're content that I can survive with or without an education. And back 100 years ago, doing discrimination, to survive, you needed an education. So it went from an education was required for survival to now an education is required to get ahead. So now those that don't want to get ahead, well, fuck it, I can survive with or without it. So why bust my and part of the despair is I'm a young Black man or a Black woman born today in 18 years. If I grew up in a system that's racially discriminatory, why the fuck should I believe in it anyway? Why should I believe that if I get the education, because see, they're not discriminating against me because I'm stupid in grade school. They're discriminating against me because I'm black. So the discrimination is down at even that level. So if the discrimination exists at the grade school level, what are we telling young black boys and girls? Well, you're not discriminated against because you're stupid. You're discriminated against because you're black. So when I go further up the chain, why the fuck should I continue to care? That's what America is doing and saying. And we got to find a way to break it. We got to find a way to say, hey, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. Succeed in spite of them. That's it. JP?
JP.
Is it? Go to the other one for me.
All right, Sean? Let's see your... Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The other question.
Yes, I believe that we should focus more on agriculture, farming, and industrial vocations. Rico says survival. We have a built-in survival mechanism that's just a human thing, right? It's the reason why, for instance, when someone greens out on weed, at some point, like their brain will just take over and everything else relaxes. That's it. We will survive. So everything about education was built on doing better than someone else, providing knowledge. You don't have to go to a school for that, and that leads into the second question, Rashawn. My children did go to public school after they were raised at home for as long as possible. Understanding the time in which we lived, it was best to give them the alternative, but I adjusted for what they learned in school at home. So they were home raised, reared until around the age of 6. They went to school. Then I ran a daycare so that I could be there when they got home to give clarity to the information that they had received from school or what they were working on. We have to understand, as I said earlier in this conversation, that they've given us their version of history based on them being the winners. So let's accept that for the moment and figure out what they didn't want us to know. Teach that to our children behind the scenes, and then at some point combine the two. So they didn't want us to know agriculture, which is why they removed it from schools. They didn't want us to know woodworking because that meant you could become a carpenter. They didn't want us to know how to make a lamp anymore because that meant you could find your way into being an electrician. Now they make that Job Corps or prison skills. Why? Because they want to keep you in a certain state of dependency upon them. If we, those of us who, like you, for example, Rico, have an understanding of the law, decide, you know what, let me go on over to this place and give my understanding to these people, free, not free of charge outright. Hey, we'll provide you a little house for you to build your own on. You can have this amount of land, and those who know how to farm will teach you how to farm while you teach their children how to understand the law. It's about working together in a different way, and that's those are that's the cause and the reason for change.
Okay. I really appreciate those answers. I do. I wish I had gotten through more of the question. I wish I'd done. I don't know. I wish I had structured it differently. I really wanted to get because you guys really have some good insights on a lot of this stuff, and I don't feel like I get. Let's do a part 2. Rico said, "Let's do a part 2." Hey, well, let's finish it up another day because there's so much to it, and I know there's a lot of things that are just that we need to like. What are the next things? And I think JP talked a lot about it. We need to know what we don't know, and I think there are a lot of us that just don't. I know a lot of people don't accept it, but there are a lot of us that just don't know what to change our behaviors to. We don't know better. Like people I say, like, if you know better, you do better. A lot of us don't know better. Like, and I'm not talking about us here, but there are a lot of people in our community that we look down upon that just don't know better. They were never taught better because your behaviors, like JP said, are inherited from somewhere. I mean, you are what you saw. So if that's what you saw and that's what influenced you and that's what you became, why would you all of a sudden today you're going to become an upstanding citizen if you never saw that? If you didn't grow up around that, you were never brought up in that mindset. So I mean, I get it, but there needs to. I want to focus the second part, if we do it, more on the means of solutions, because I know Carter G. Woodson did talk about the types of education and the proper type of professional and political engagement. So I'll bring those parts to the forefront on a part 2 that I'll have to schedule. But I do appreciate everybody for coming. So who's going to speak? Who's it? JP? Go ahead.
Rico, you mentioned wanting to do a stream on volunteerism. I would love to be able to do that. So if you reach out behind the scenes and give me a date that works for you, either 4:20 or 9, either 4:20 in the afternoon or 9:30 at night, whichever works when. But I was a volunteer manager for a long time, so yeah, we can have the conversation.
I think we definitely. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad to hear people bring up topics like that, because I think in our community we need to speak about that. Because I just think that so many people think like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, come on, just talk to people who've done it, and so on and so forth. So I definitely want to tap in with you about that.
Okay.
Because I hate the fact that I'm like, why the fuck am I the only person that brings that word up? Volunteer.
I mean, to be honest,
because all of us are not allergic to it. And what I'm trying to tell you is I've known a huge community of Black people who volunteer for no cost. And we got to stop acting like I fuss at my kids. Man, nigga ain't going to work for no money. I'm like, that's all. Motherfucker, when we came to this country, we was working for no money. Stop it.
Right.
Fuck it. The first slaves, you can call them volunteers. You can call them whatever the fuck you want to call them. But the thing is, to volunteer and the benefits of volunteerism, the advantages, the learning, and so on and so forth, it's a beautiful thing. And we need to talk about it as if volunteering is something that other people do. And I'm like, in a lot of disadvantaged communities, they're full of volunteers, whether you're in the alphabet community, because the only people that are going to help you for free are motherfuckers who look like you.
And have already been through it. The one thing that I will say is, just because they don't seem to recognize it, every YouTuber hopping on somebody's panel is already volunteering, unless you done paid to be on that platform.
There it is. Facts.
So might as well learn to be able to use it to your benefit and not just support one person, no offense, in this case, for 3.5 hours. But you understand what I'm saying? No, be aware of it.
Or in a positive manner. That's all I wish, is to like push forward something positive. We know the negativity that exists in this space, but like occasionally in between all the shit I'm talking, I try to do something good. Like, okay, I've been shitting on people for 2 days. Let me try to do something good for the next 2 days to offset it. Yeah. So I don't bust hell wide open again.
Yeah, real quick, because I lied to you guys. I said that was my last question. But I'm trying to put some new things into the show. One last question. I always have one last question.
It better be a short one. Go ahead.
We've all heard someone say or post, "I am my ancestors' wildest dream." But are we though? Like legitimately? This is what they dreamt of?
Fuck no. That's an easy one. Fuck no. Hell no. Hell the fuck no. We might be our ancestors' wildest nightmare, but I wouldn't call it a dream. A dream is something you look forward to. A nightmare is something that scares the living shit out of you.
Our ancestors aren't mad at us.
I would actually say that's for probably almost all ethnicities. The shit that we're living today, we are fucked up as people. And the thing is, I'll push, I'm not even gonna push back, is like I always hear the argument like Black men, but I'm like, what race do you think is the most violent? People will automatically go to Black. That's not true. That's not true by a long stretch. As what race is the most violent currently and in history, in America and around the world? It's the dominant race.
Yeah, but people only look at personal violence, exactly. Person to person. If you stop there, then it looks a certain way disproportionately. But you got to look at open eyes of it.
Right. So people will say, "Oh, 50% of fucking a violent hunt." I'm like, okay, but 90% of fucking mass murders are committed by what? And mass murders is murders of 4 or more people. 90% of them are committed by what? White men. But we don't want to talk about that. See what I'm saying? So it's like you can couch statistics any sort of way. So you but okay, but 90% of mass murders, the killing of 4 or more people, are by white men, and they're 60% of the population. So they're overcompensated for mass murders. Black people don't commit mass murders. They just don't, not by and large.
Now, what about you, JP? What you think about that question? What's your answer?
Our ancestors are disappointed.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, not angered by us, angered by the situation and how long it has taken, but not. They're disappointed. You know,
Yes.
there's too many have, as I say, bent the knee, assimilated for whatever reason. Like I said, I started, I think, on Instagram talking about whether or not Harriet Tubman ran for freedom for us to live next to those who kept us from being free. They're disappointed. We're not making those basic connections because we're so caught up in the moments in this time right now. So, but on the one hand, I will say we are their dream, just disappointed that it's taking us so long to get to where they want us to be.
Fair enough.
I am definitely with you. We are getting ready to close the show. Rico, any last words? Shout out anything you're working on? Just pieces
No,
and
I'm
what's
not working on anything. I just want to just take a moment to say, brother, thank you for inviting me to this stream. You know, I rock and support with you 1,000, 10 toes down. Everything you do, anytime I can come over to support it. Arshawn, you brought me to the forefront of this space. So, I'll never forget that, and I'll never let anybody else forget that. Like, hey, you wouldn't see me as much as you see me on this stream if it wasn't for Arshawn. Before I started being in these other spaces, it's this brother right here. He brought me up. We were together, critically drinking. We have great ideas. I haven't talked to him as much as I have in the past because, as I told him, I've been busy in real life. Ain't no shit. It ain't never gonna be. No, let me tell you something. Air ain't gonna come between me and this young man. It's not gonna happen. I don't care what nobody say, think, or feel about him. Like, y'all can say, think, and feel whatever the fuck you want. That's my guy. Period. End of discussion. I just don't have no reason to do any different. Very intelligent, very thoughtful, solid all around guy. He pushes me. He pushes me to think, just like he did today on this stream. We've had innumerable hours of chats in the back where we go back and forth, and he pushes me and I pushes him, and we'll continue to do that. Anytime I pick up the phone, Arshawn know, hey, you gonna get it how I think, and I know I'm gonna get it how he think, and I can appreciate that about him. It's always thoughtful. It's always respectful. I love the brother. I love the young man. He's another one of my sons that I did not bear, but I'm also a big believer in that you don't have to sire all your children in this world. Don't. So that whole nonsense where people get on the whole stepfather thing, like, it's a wonderful thing. You motherfuckers should try it. You'll see the blessing in disguise. So with that, thank you. I don't even have to tell you how to reach out to me. But thank you. And of course, to Sister JP, what the fuck is going to be said? The aspiring matriarch. Okay. And monarch. Even though it is a misnomer, it's also apropos. She's a queen in her own right. She can be fiery, she can be spicy. When she get in that space where she's passionate about something, I'm like, hey, shit, lean into it, sis. Don't make no apologies. Even I do the same thing. Even when I come back and say, oh shit, I went too far, I was too hot, this, that, and whatever. But she always knows that. But she's a wonderful person. So let me just shut the fuck up and just say, hey, everybody, keep fucking with critically drinking. You're gonna learn something, even if your dumb ass don't want to. And with that, I'm done. JP?
Listen, Butterscotch Bear, love him like fat kids love cake. I gotta tell you, Rico and Rashawn, you all are the start of, and Brother Clarence are the start of fellas on my panel that truly helped to make a different conversation happen. And I appreciate y'all for that. So Anyway, I will be live later on this evening, 9:30, and it just say man damn, because
Mm.
yeah, man, we need a break. This Monday just seemed, this Monday just seemed to be kind of funked out. And so, yeah, catch me outside, 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. By the way, that means that we are the standard. We don't change. Keep that in mind when fall comes. I'm saying I don't want to have to re-educate y'all. Maybe Rashawn and I can have a stream about it. Rashawn, I appreciate and love you. You know that, though. Um, it's been a journey. I learned a lot, and I used to reach out to Rashawn about a lot of things, just as my counsel, kind of like part sage, part scribe, part JP. What the hell? So yeah, keep rocking with him. It's a journey all the way around. I look forward to seeing where we all grow. And if we can get the drunken dinosaur back in the rhythm, then we'll all be doing good things. So, see, y'all keep your spirit up. I'll see you in the streets.
All right, everybody on YouTube, I did ask in the chat that you would please go over and check out AR on his channel. The link is in the chat. Go in there and just spam some emojis. Put CAC. He'll know what that means. I only have a couple of people on Twitch, so we're going to do a raid on that side. So you guys might see me be here, sitting here quiet. No, matter of fact, I'm going to start the intro music. I'm going to start the intro music so I can do the Twitch raid. And we'll go over there and I'll spam some emojis there. But everybody on YouTube, go follow the link. Please don't just sit here and watch the intro music. I know it might be nice music, but please go over there and support, show love. You ain't got to stay, but please go over there, because I know I love the Twitch community, because you can take people over and support each other. I want YouTube to be able to do the same type of support. Even if I know Simon said he don't want me over there. Simon, come over there, spam it, make him unhappy that you're there, and put CAC, capital C, capital A, capital C. He'll know what that means. Again, the link is in the chat. Just scroll up a little bit. Everybody, I really appreciate you for coming to the conversation. They did say that they wanted us to have a part 2. I'm pretty sure everybody will be willing to be a part of that. That was a part of it. I have to talk to AR because he may not want to come back. But again, if we're talking about solutions going forward, I'm pretty sure he'll be willing to take a part in that conversation. So I'm going to start this intro music. Just click on the link and go over and support. And Twitchers, just give me a hot second to start the raid. Matter of fact, I'm going to start that over there now. Okay, it's doing the countdown. And guys, here's a little intermission music, and then I'll do the outro right after that. Peace.